Station, what's up, y'all?
Station.
What up?
What's going on?
Hey, we got Vern back in the building.
Yeah.
Good to have you back, my brother. Congrats on the brand newborn baby. He's not no demonic signs yet.
Not yet. I was hoping, but she hasn't. Nothing.
You're like,
Nothing,
it's the season.
Yeah.
I was really.
I've watched enough Omen movies to know that shit doesn't happen for a few years.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's still a chance, y'all.
All right, good. No, thank you guys. It's great to be back. I was bummed that I couldn't make it last week, but I did watch American Mary because I wanted to have the same life experiences you fellas been having. So I did watch it, enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the review you guys did last week. So hell's yeah.
What would you have rated American Mary?
Probably like a 3.75. I thought it was really good, but a lot of the issues you guys had with it, I thought I lost interest in it somewhat towards the end of the movie. I thought it was a really fucking cool idea and lots of good gore, and it was a lot of fun. It was one of those modern horror movies that I'm glad I got to check out for sure.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Heck yeah. Glad you liked that one, man. That was another recommendation from Two Gun, as the one we're watching tonight, Alice, Sweet Alice from 1976.
Are you sure that's the name of the movie?
Yeah, that's the name.
Are you sure it's not fucking Holy Terror or Communion?
Holy Terror.
I'm watching this movie. It says Communion. I'm like, oh, it is chapter 1 called Communion, and then like an hour in the movie, I'm like, when's chapter 2?
Yeah.
I was so confused.
I even hit up the chat. It was like, is this the movie? Is this the right one? You guys are like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Could be. And then there was Dead Air, man. Also, we were talking before in the chat. This movie, I think, the biggest thing about this movie is Brooke Shields became really popular when this movie came out in '76. Then she do that Pretty Baby movie where it was kind of almost like kind of creepy. And then
I don't watch creepy Pretty Baby movies, so I don't know.
And then she did this one, and then when they re-released it in '81, the trailer is all like Brooke Shields, like you've never seen it before, and you know, as I said before, 10 minutes into the movie, you know, spoiler, she's dead.
She's the Drew Barrymore of this movie.
Right. So this movie, I think, couldn't find an audience, which is a shame.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad that it's found an audience over the years because this was a first time watch for all of us, as we've said. I know I recognize the mask from, In Search of Darkness and just over the years.
In Search of Darkness.
In Search of
the Star
Darkness.
Trek movie? Oh, no, that's Into Darkness.
The documentary.
Come on, man. Act like a horror fan.
Oh, okay.
Well, they said this is the American Giallo, and it probably is pretty close.
Yeah, it said like American Giallo with Hitchcock vibes. But from what I get, man, the guy he didn't have a lot of money, and he knew that these movies, like Alfred Hitchcock movies, made a lot of money, so he wanted to kind of do like a thriller.
Well, he did an X-rated porno before he did this one. And
He
got
did,
busted
yeah,
to do
because
that.
A smash hit X-rated film.
That's
he
smash
said,
hit.
who did he say did one, and that's why he did it. He said somebody else, some big, maybe it was Hitchcock, even some big guy.
It wasn't
That was
Hitchcock.
his
I
first.
remember
No.
that.
He
I
says it
remember.
in the interview. I can't remember.
I think it was Francis Ford Coppola who did.
Yeah, I think it
maybe,
was. Actually.
Who
maybe
did,
it was somebody
in
huge.
the 70s, they all did pornos first, before
Wes
getting
Craven
into
was an
something
X-rated
else.
film director.
That's how they got started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
70s Bush, man.
From what I hear, his movie's called like Deep something, but I hear it's like or Dead. I don't remember, but it's something. Apparently, it's like artistic, which a lot of those 70s adult films were, weirdly.
Right. More so than now.
Yeah, they're not artistic at all anymore. Not that I would know.
Not from the concept from the porn tube hours I spend on my phone. I know nothing about it.
PornTube. Pornhub, baby. Come on.
And
now.
PornTube's like what they
Pornhub.
call it in like fiction.
I
Like,
don't know. PornTube, Pornhub, whatever.
So yeah, as we said, first time watch for all of us. We'll go around. I'm gonna start first on this because I've been holding out on Two Gun, man. He didn't. I ain't gonna make him wait for all y'all to go around because that would just really be torturing him. Because he knew he was like he kept hitting me up. He's like, "Well, did you watch it yet? Did you watch it yet?" I was like, "Yeah, I watched it because I wanted to do a deep dive on this." So I watched it like Monday. And he was like, "Well," he's like, "I liked it better on after I watched the special features." He's like, "I loved it, but I liked it even more after the special features." So I was like, "Good idea." I was gonna watch them anyway, so I was like, "I'm gonna watch those, and then I'll watch it again," which I did.
I'm
And
just glad this movie actually has its special features on it.
You're right. But it is an Arrow, man. Arrow don't fuck around. But dude, I didn't need a second watch honestly to make me like it anymore. I really did enjoy this movie. I think it is a gem, man. I think it should be talked about more. I love. I was almost getting like orphan vibes from Alice, which Scarpa had ended up telling me that she was like 19.
She was 19.
She was making that movie, so that makes sense. I was like, I was almost thinking, I was like, is there gonna be like some orphan like kind of twist going on here? But I was like, no, that's her real life mother. You know what I mean? It can't be something like that. There was something odd about that girl though. She did so good. And then you get who was it, Alphonse or whatever, fucking another guy off the fucking street that the director just met, and he was just like, I will use you one day for something. You're special. You know what I mean?
Good piss stained pants.
I knew that. I could just tell he was a dude off the street. I remember thinking that because he's got such a creepy look. I'm like, I bet this dude's not even an actor because he wasn't the best actor, but he fit the role.
But my God, did he nail it?
Yeah,
I was listening to some of the commentary, and Alfred Soul says that this dude, whose name is Alfonso, he would dress as a priest, go to the cemetery, and see these old ladies would be at the grave of their husbands, and he would go and they would ask him to say a prayer, and he'd say a prayer, and they'd give him a tip for it. That's what he did,
and that's what he did for the director too, for his grandfather, and that's how he found him.
Wow. And then he did that, and he was the bouncer at a gay club. Apparently, and that's how he made his money. And
but I have seen that dude. That dude was in other 70s movies because I've seen him in other things. So he must have got roles off of this.
I swear I see him once a week at least at my comic shop.
Yeah, well, dude, I think he did a great job, man, without a doubt. There's nobody in this that I would say didn't do good. The fucking aunt is like hysterical. She might be borderline annoying at times.
I'm not lying.
Like her face,
the two
her
female
face
leads
that
weren't the
she
best
makes,
actresses.
when she's in the hospital,
that's it.
Very overly dramatic.
God,
Yeah,
it
she's
is
hilarious.
insane. But you know, I think this movie has great pace. The music is really good. That was one thing I really was focusing on because it has a real specific, you know, that it has
Good religious
70s
vibe.
like tone to it, but you know, it's creepy at times. I fucking love the mask, the first mask, and then you get the double mask, which it looks like kind of like an old guy or something. I absolutely love that. I just love how they, spoiler alert, I'm gonna say this, you know, spoiler alert, if you didn't see it and you don't want to know, like they just do so good. Go watch it, but they do so good at making you think Alice is the killer, without a doubt. There's no one else you're really thinking of. You like in your head, even when the the dad's like, "I'm gonna find who did this."
They did
You're like,
an
"Dude,
excellent
you're
job
fucking-
selling
you're
that
searching,
misdirection.
you're searching for something else, man. It's her. You know, she's psycho.
But I talked to Dylan because even after this movie stopped, I knew the killer, but I didn't know. I said to Dylan, "Is there a reason why she killed?" The motivation to me was a little light in the movie, but I had asked, and yeah, I got it why, but I couldn't believe that was the only motivation. But she was good. Total misdirection, though, as you're right. Alice was, you thought,
total misdirection. I mean, it's tough to say about that. Like the woman, you know, she's like this foreign woman that you find out ends up being the killer, and she has like an obsession with the father. And from the beginning, the father has a very close relationship with this family, and he's given this girl this very important cross that was handed down to him from his mother to the little girl that's about to have her communion the next day. Who is, what's her name again?
Karen.
Karen.
Brooke
Karen,
Shields. But
Brooke
in
Shields.
real life, what's her name? The popular one that you guys keep talking
Brooke
about.
Shields. Brooke Shields.
Yeah. So, and there was a part too where the old lady sees Alice with that mask. So it's almost like she set it all up to be put for Alice to take the ball in a way, because she wears the exact same mask. Like Alice scares the shit out of that old lady a few minutes before. You know what I mean? So that old lady, man, was trying to set the little girl up, man, I guess. But she was fucking psycho, man. She was just fucking psycho. Looney bin, that's all you need, I guess, for a motivation for somebody, man.
My only concern is this woman was kind of a little old lady variety, and she really went, you know, up against some of these people that, you know, obviously probably could have overpowered her, but
well, she didn't really kill anyone. Like the only one, the husband, that was the one that you would be like maybe not by, but the rest, like the aunt, like what the fuck is she gonna do? The old guy, that was
little
like
girl.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like
the husband.
It's not like she's killing.
Well, the husband, like Dom, right? Like he thought it was his niece or whatever.
Right.
So he's already underestimating,
yes,
you know, what's going on there. And as was I when I was watching it.
That's the one thing after I watch it, I can clearly like tell, because they say like, oh, she thought it was Karen. Like when the girl Alice, or when the aunt gets stabbed, Alice goes and says she thought it was Karen. But it's
I think she is trying to blame
bigger lady.
Yeah, she is trying to blame the kid. I mean, that's why she has the stock.
She's definitely trying to blame the kid. Yeah,
I mean, she's trying to get back at the whole family because they took the father's attention.
Because I guess in a beautiful way, there is like, you just would never absolutely ever think. They don't make it to where you're like, who the fuck is this lady? But you're still like, wow, you know what I mean? Like it is just so out of
she was scrubbing the floors in the beginning, then she's feeding the old priest, and then
so
she's doing all the dirty work.
She's like disappointed that the father can't like come to dinner and shit. You know, there's things here and there, but
the father was definitely
when it happens, you're like, what the fuck?
The father was definitely giving me the Father Phil vibes from The Sopranos. He was hanging out at Carmela's house, eating mortadella and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. This guy was really he was hanging on them women, so he knew what he was doing.
There's a creepy ass scene with him, with the one lady's in the phone booth on the phone, and he just like leans in all creepy. It's like, get out of her face. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll say, man, I really did enjoy this film a lot. It's not perfect, obviously, but this is one that I definitely will be checking out a lot more in the future. Two Gun Man, 3 for 3, dude, from fucking Trilogy of Terror to American Mary, which he already knew I love that one. So really 2 for 2 because American Mary I knew, but dude, Two Gun Man always picking some fire ones, man. And dude, I hope this one gets some good views, man, because it deserves it. Because this I really had fun with, man. I had fun doing a deep dive on it, man. It's a very low budget 70s horror film. You know, I had a lot of fun with it, man. And it has a lot of kids in it, and they're not annoying or anything. You know, that Alice girl is just creepy as hell. Everybody does good. Robbie, my man, what did you think about this overall? You know, I know first time watch as well for you.
First time watch, but I had to pull Laverno and watch this thing twice. I did because my initial reaction in this movie,
I did too.
I did not feel like. Didn't you just say you didn't need a second watch?
I watched it 2 times, but I didn't need it.
Okay,
not to like it more. Verno does it to like it more. Right. I didn't need it to like it more. I just wanted to watch it again after watching the special features. Plus, I like to have it a little bit fresher in my mind, so I watched it today.
There's not a lot of coverage of this movie on YouTube, okay? Which I noticed, right? Because as soon as I watched it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, right? Like, I don't know. And so I went on YouTube, and all of my typical people, aside from Drum Dums, like nobody's talking about this movie. So I watched his review, and he said that he watched it twice, and he picked up a different vibe on the second time. So I was like, you know what? Let's carve out the time. We got Cobra Kai, we got Rings of Power, we got House of the Dragon. Who gives a shit? Let's fit in Sweet Alice the second time. I watched it again last night. So some of my initial notes say that I do believe there's some clunky pacing to start off with, and that kind of continues throughout the movie. And I think that's the movie's biggest fault, is some of its pacing issues. Like it really, those first 20 minutes should have been the first like 10 or something. But I don't know, right? There's a lot of weird stretches in this movie, right? Including Alfonso, who in here I just called him Fatso because I didn't know his real name at first. Repeated use of Christian iconography. Christian imagery.
Iconography for 10.
Yeah, there you go. Themes of hypocrisy, putting on appearances I was picking up. I said the music is solid, utilizing strings and organs and harpsichord and piano, but at times it carves out a very unique identity, and other times it's just doing what was done at the time. So it's a little up and down, right, for me. Like some parts of the score are great, some parts are just okay. The fat dude is so fucking nasty. I wrote here, Alice has a murder shrine, because you're totally led into thinking Alice is the murderer. And then when her dad starts questioning that maybe it's someone else, I was like, wait, is this a whodunit? Like, I was like, I swore that they straight up showed us Alice murdering Karen, right? And then stabbing her aunt. So what happened on the rewatch was that knowing that Alice is not the killer, it recontextualizes the film as a family drama post the death of the youngest child, which makes it rather intense emotionally to watch. For me, because I had my youngest brother died very young when my siblings were still young, right? So it kind of rang very true. This is a dysfunctional household. I think there's a very subtle thing there, and I like some of the subtlety in the script because the father is the reason I think Dom left. I think the father and the mother did do something, and that's why Chick lost her fucking mind. Because right before she kills father, she looks up, but you let that whore take communion, right? Also, it's a holiday-themed slasher. It's a communion slasher.
You're right, Robbie.
Yes.
Good one. I did not think of that.
Yeah, it's right there. So I at one point when I realized it was a whodunit, I thought it was the boy cousin because they mentioned him once, then you never see him again. I was like, it's the fucking boy, but it wasn't. It was the fucking chick, right? The assistant to the priest or whatever. So I'll tell you what, man. When I first watched this movie, I didn't know where I was going to go. I told Fable and Thursday night in the back chat, right? And I was like, I think I'm going to watch it again. And I did, and I'm glad I did because I was able to pick up on what the movie's actually about. However, on a first viewing, as Scarpad alluded to, this is the best red herring ever, is Alice in this fucking movie. Because I am sold. Like, Alice is the killer. This is a movie about a fucking creepy kid who's jealous of her sister. And yeah, I'm on board with it. As soon as at the twists, I actually wrote my note here. It said, was not anticipating that killer reveal. Wow. And you know how much we watch these movies. We become accustomed to these twists and turns. This came out of fucking nowhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When Brooks was talking on Deep Red about how the mother was the one person he was not thinking of, I wasn't thinking about her at all. And then when you rewatch it, they never show necessarily her height compared to anybody else, right? Like, it's very intentional, this movie. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was awesome. And also, there's some great camera movements and shots. There's some really cool stuff. He apparently, Alfred Soul, I think was the, right? He apparently kind of, well, first of all, he made that adult film that got him in legal trouble. And then he got excommunicated by his church. But so he had to keep stopping and starting. He kept having a bunch of photographers coming in, a bunch of directors of photography to do it, a bunch of cinematographers. Really? And they all told him, your ideas are shit. This isn't how you make a movie. You're wrong. This is how we need to do it. So he was fighting that. And I feel like that comes across in the final thing. Like you said, Dylan, it's not perfect, but especially watching it 2 times, that second time really twisted it around. Really, really did, man. And I appreciated it more there. So overall, I love that. I rather like this movie. And it's got a lot of Giallo influence. Oh, yeah. Even though the director says he never saw Giallo, this is more based on, what's that 73 movie? Fuck. I cannot remember. There's a 73 movie that I've never seen. Don't Look Now or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And it's based more on that, but it's totally like any of the Gialli that we've talked about.
It's got to be influenced by people that were influenced by Giallo.
Yeah, I really like this. I'll tell you that.
I really like the ending too, how just like you got the priest kind of like in like a hostage situation, and they're like all peeking around the corners and everything, trying to like keep cool, and they're like, she won't hurt me, she won't hurt me. Like the main father saying that because he knows, he's like, she won't hurt me, she won't hurt me. So the whole time I'm thinking, like, I'm not gonna lie, because normally I would sit there and say she's gonna fuck him up, sure. But in a way, I was like, she does have this obsession with him, so maybe she won't. But I should have known she fucking gets him right in the neck. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe like she would let him take him, but once
he died in her arms.
Just escort her. He shouldn't have said nothing about the cops, but he should have like just fed her the fucking thing. At least, you know, because I think that's what he's like. Because like she says, you gave it to the whore.
Right. See, if they would have done this movie today,
maybe they would have caught it to the neck.
If they would have done this movie today, they'd be like, okay, we're going to give you a special sedative laced communion wafer to give her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it'd be so stupid.
Bill Cosby her ass.
And I heard you say you didn't really like the mom, Scarpad. The mom, to me, I don't know if her performance was off or whatever. I was into it because let me tell you something. I don't know why.
Not the mom so much, but the sister.
Okay, but I'll tell you what. I was catching feelings on this mom.
The mom,
like 100. I was like, I can be there. I can help you out. I can be there.
I don't understand what the father, was it something where like she like cheated on her husband?
This is the subtlety in it.
Comment like, you always hated because I was pregnant when or something. She makes a weird comment like, I don't.
Well, she was pregnant before marriage first, but the thing I'm getting is that she had a brief affair with Father Tom.
Right.
I'm totally picking up on the movie. It makes her grudge make sense. It makes the way he acts, the way he gives Karen his mother's cross.
Right. It's probably his kid.
That's what I'm thinking, to be honest. Because I mean, I don't know if this was intentional, but Brooke Shields does not look like the other.
Care about Karen's death. He's just there to because Alice gets basically accused of it. That's all he talks about. It's not about like, oh, we're gonna get Karen's killer, my daughter's killer. It's we need to get you free of these charges and everything. You know what I mean? So maybe you are on something there.
I think it's intentionally there. I think it's part of the theme. I think it really is. Because
there's no father figure at all there. So the father is the father figure. to Karen. You're right, and he's not really a father figure to Alice. Really, he gives her the cross, obviously. Dude,
it's weird when we keep calling the father, and then the father, then the father. I'm confused now, but I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, Father Tom is more of a father to Karen.
He acts like a father.
Well, there's a credit in the movie. He says Niles played the father, and I'm saying, did he play the father, the priest, or the father, the father?
I think it's so. I think it's so intentional to the fact that the names are that similar. It's Tom and Dom. I think that's very intentional.
Well, because the other guy, though, he has a family. They don't talk about her cheating or anything. I thought that maybe like he had this family and he had the affair or something. Because she even Alice even says like, go back to you got to go back to your other family or whatever, or your wife. Maybe it's not a family. Maybe he just has a wife.
He's got a wife for sure.
Just the wife. Is that all they say, Vern? I think
I'm not sure. I know that for sure.
Yeah. No, he for sure has the wife.
Right.
Yeah, though, man. Dude, there's some beautiful shots in this too, no doubt. Scarpad, first time watch. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I tell you, it sold me from the beginning on the little girl being the killer, like it was supposed to. Now, this movie, like Robbie said, I think right from the get-go, you see that it's about a dysfunctional family, because it starts off with really the mother and the priest showing total everything's going toward Karen, and you can see that Alice is really pissed off. And then when he gives her the necklace, you can see that kind of set in motion all the stuff that she does or supposedly does in the movie, so we can believe that maybe she did do this. But you see that dysfunction there. And even the mother, I thought, was totally, it was all Karen. Alice, get away from it. What did you do now? And all that. It's only when Karen dies, obviously, that she shifts back to Alice. I don't even think she realized the whole thing where this woman's going through, well, the girl was 19, but the girl, Alice, even went through her first period, and mother didn't know about it. And there's things tied into that whole first period thing into the movie too. But the only problem I have with the movie, as I said, is when it is revealed that it's the old lady, who I thought was a great, because she's always in the background from the beginning. She's scrubbing the floor, feeding the old priest, everything else that's going on. She's there, so it's perfectly reasonable. I didn't get her motive. It's like, why would she be doing all this? But then, you watch it a second time and go through it a second time. You see it's basically because something either is going on with this family and the priest. He's in the living room. He's almost like living with them. She's pissed about it, and that it gets totally believable. So after you think about it, the end makes great sense. And the shots reminded me a lot of, something like Deep Red, the old giallo, where you get the staircase kill and how that was all framed. The fat guy's apartment, all his cats and stuff. You even noticed the piss-soaked pants on that guy.
A buddy of mine was watching it and said as soon as he hit that scene, he thought all of a sudden it was a John Waters film.
Yeah. I mean, the guy has all cats, but what sold you on maybe when Alice kills one of the kittens, crushes it in her hand.
I don't think she actually kills it because you see it later. I think
you listen to him. You killed him.
He said, but he had multiple cats.
Look, me and Vern just choose to believe that cat didn't die. Okay,
and because it was the 70s, she killed a real cat.
My goodness!
In that movie. It was almost like one of those Campbell films. It really did happen. No,
they break two of the main rules. You don't kill kids. You don't kill animals.
I did feel bad about killing that cat. She turned me off against the character when she killed the cat. But,
I'll be honest. Yeah, I bet she's trying to get out of being raped by this fucking dude with
piss. Like my girlfriend can watch a movie with 1 million fucking people get killed, but if a fucking horse breaks its leg, oh my god, I can't watch this.
I know, man.
But it's so, and then the ending I thought was great, because after she goes ahead and kills everybody, now Alice has got the knife and she's like, I got ideas now, and a freeze face, that weird look. So the girl was great, the acting was great, the music was okay. I thought it fit the movie. you can tell the only one that technically I think the problem is, as what Robbie said, I think the editing in this movie was a little bit clunky. I think some different editing, maybe it's between some of the scenes, maybe would have alleviated some of the confusion. But otherwise, I thought it was a decent movie. Now, this is the second 70s movie in a row we have with obviously no 70s Bush. We'll talk about how that affects things later. You better get back on the Bush train.
There's going to be some Bush soon, man. I promise. But it ain't going to happen next week either. But anyway, I was just going to say, I like a lot of what you said there, man. And one of the other things I wanted to say that really makes me feel like Karen is the father Tom's kid is because when he gives her his mother's cross, like the mom says, you don't have to do that. And he goes, who else would I give it to? And the way he says it to her.
That's crazy. That's great.
Yeah.
So
that adds another layer to it.
You can definitely tell there's something going on. It's not spelled out. It's not, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. I really like it, and you were mentioning that some of the editing is off, and the pace is off. And when I was watching the comment, which I watched it with some commentary, I watched a little bit of it. And from what I can gather, because he's talking about, I realized that you can make the movie and craft the film in editing, which leads me to believe that he had a mess of shots that was very incoherent to pull together. So the story had to be crafted through editing. Like it wasn't there initially in the script because he's still very young, kind of a novice. Right. So I think that's because they were like, they cut what they could to get the themes, to get the story, to get the character bits with what they had.
I could see there being issues like from scene to scene. Maybe there was editing issues, but in the scenes specifically, like the killing scenes, like the editing stood out to me as being dope as hell. Like in the church when they're flashing to like some of the iconography, the religious iconography, and just
iconography. You mean
iconography? It really stood out to me, the editing. I was actually paying attention to it more than I do a lot of times because I thought it was fucking good.
Well, there's a scene. I'm not sure who it is. I think it was the father, and it was right before he gets killed. Isn't there a scene where he's looking at the church and he sees the old woman out there, doing something outside the church? I think he is watching her. He suspects her for some reason, and that's what ends up to his death later on when he follows her, because he follows her there, basically. So. But there's also a scene too. There was that creepy scene in the basement when the real dad finds Alice. I almost thought they were going to go for a little like incest in that scene. Something's going on between the father and her too, I think. And that's the way I saw it. I don't know.
There's a few weird stretches.
Yeah, like the fucking the lie detector guy, the polygraph tester.
See her tits?
Like, bruh.
She wanted me to feel her up. It's like, well, they didn't show that.
That's when you need that dude from the Gillette commercial to show up and be like, not cool.
Yeah, but that cop probably says that about everybody he's interviewing. He wanted me to feel her up. I knew it. It was the 70s, man.
Did you see the size on the heart on her dad? It's like he wanted me to fucking rub against it.
Yeah, exactly.
They definitely do a little weird thing. Alice definitely does have a dark and mischievous side to her that makes her perfect for the villain.
Oh, hold on a second though. What can I say one more thing?
Fighters on Alfonso.
The other guy, I thought it could have been. I think for me, it was almost whodunit because you can't think halfway through. This isn't the girl. You know who else I thought they could have nailed on? That fucking the sister's husband, the little mousy guy.
Jim.
He just took it from that woman all the time. He's like, he was scared as shit.
You don't need that drink.
Yeah, you shut up, Jim. You get in that corner. I thought maybe he could have wiped out everybody in that movie because he would have snapped. That guy was great.
Yeah. But I was gonna say they do that towards the end and make it so you honestly almost like a torching a pass torch where she picks up the fucking knife and bag of goodies and after all she's been through now that maybe she might go out and she might start killing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you get the blame, do the crime. If you're gonna do the time, do the crime.
But Vern, my man, first time watch, dude, what did you think about this, man?
I really liked it. It was just really similar to what Robbie said. When I first watched it, I didn't know how I felt about it. Like I was into it through the whole film. I was into the mystery, but then by the end of the film, I'm like, I had to watch it again. But I watched it again earlier today, and a lot of the cinematography stood out to me a lot more. The music stood out to me a lot more, and I was able to obviously follow the story better. And I think it's really fucking good. If you're into slashers, if you're into giallo, I think it's definitely something to check out. The look of the film, like combining all of the religious stuff and then just that outfit and that mask, like it should be more iconic than it is, because I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen the get up before. The kills are little lacking. They're, especially depending on what you've been watching recently. None of them really stand out as being like, oh, that was a great kill. But the feel and the atmosphere is really goddamn good. There was something that I really picked up more on the second time. Like one of my biggest issues with it, like that would have made the film better, is if there's two characters that they're blaming it on a lot. She's like, it was Angela, or it was Karen, it was the dead girl. They should have. Angela was the heavy set cousin. She's the brunette. They don't develop her at all, but they're throwing her name around the first time.
That, yeah.
I didn't even know Karen's name, the Brooke Shields character. So they kept saying these names, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Is that the old lady? Is that
was?
Okay? If they had given Angela a scene or two, maybe have her doing some mischievous shit with Alice, then you could have actually like, oh, maybe it's her. The other thing, I think it would have made it a completely different film, but it would have been really cool. Say they start out the movie with the Brooke Shields character doing like a seance or fucking around with a Ouija board. So that way you're wondering the whole time if there's a supernatural element, because Alice is saying it's her.
Well, I think one of the main points, Vern, is that I don't think that he wanted you to think it was a whodunit.
Right.
I think he wanted you to believe it was Alice.
Right.
And then you're
until that happens.
Right.
Like I think that's what I think they were going for.
That's interesting.
I didn't really understand why why Alice kept on trying to say it was Karen, who she knew,
because she saw the pastor's or the priest's assistant. She saw her, right? So like she thought it was Karen coming back to get her doll. Because we got to remember, she's still, like she's 12 years old. She is coming of age, and her coming into womanhood. That's a part of the theme of this, but she's still a scared kid, and that's why she's like, when her dad comes in, she thinks it's Karen, the ghost of Karen, coming back to haunt her for stealing her doll, because she's shitty to her sister. So she's filled with guilt. And when you watch this movie a second time, not caring about who the murderer is, it is a family fucking drama.
Exactly. Yeah.
A family in grief, man. And it's very real for its time compared to other movies.
Right. That was another thing that I think the first time around, this is something I notice a lot in like any older movies. They don't do like, oh, the one sister's a brunette, the one's a blonde, just to keep us. The one's got long hair, the one's got short hair. Like the sisters look pretty similar. And I was having a hard time the first time around figuring out like, who's the mom, is she adopted? Like it just wasn't clear to me. Even the dad, I wasn't sure that he was the actual dad, not to be confused with the father. But
maybe he wasn't, though. See?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point, because Karen has a father figure in Father Tom. Alice doesn't. So the attention that Father Tom is giving to Karen, it's not just the attention on the pretty one or attention on the young one. It's the attention is because her dad is gone. You can even hear that in the venomous way she says, don't you have to get back to your wife?
Right.
Like, and shit like that. Like, her father is absent, but Karen's father's still there, even though Karen doesn't know that. I don't know.
Right. But I mean, overall, it's definitely one I say it all the time, but I'm really glad I watched it a second time, because my rating went way up after the first viewing. And most of that was just like based on confusion and not following the family dynamics and the subtleties that you guys have all been pointing out. Like there's a lot of really subtle stuff going on with the family that I appreciated way more the second time. So overall, really, 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 really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I was having that same trouble about when they would say Angela as well, man. My little brother, me and him were just saying the same thing.
Right.
So, Fable, my man, what the hell is you thinking about this? First time watch as well for you. What do you got to say, my boy?
I'm gonna say that this movie ultimately kind of disappointed me. And the reason I say that is because you guys said everything really, but from my point of view, it's a little disappointing, and only because it was so freaking masterful up until the third act. You know, everything you guys said, you guys pointed out the directing and the camera work. The camera work is phenomenal in this film. There's a lot of great shots. I was like so surprised. The storytelling, the way they do things, like they're not telling you who the characters are, but you got to figure it out as their life is going on. I was digging that. It was very sophisticated. A lot of strange, weird bits that I think were ahead of their time, like the big fat guy being creepy and everything. I could see that being in a modern movie. You know what I mean? They were thinking about doing a weird stretch like that back then. So I was like, I was really impressed all the way up to when they revealed that the old lady was the killer. Just like Scarpad said, just like Verno said, when they revealed it was her, I totally felt what Scarpad said when he said that the motivation wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And I get it that you're supposed to piece it together and all that other stuff. Maybe on a second watch, it'll come through a lot cleaner once you get it. But just that first time, it's a crazy throw off. Not only that, but it takes it away from Alice, who is very intriguing little girl, and who I thought, like Verno said, I would have liked something more with her, but instead they take the camera off of her, and now we focus on this lady and trying to fill in the gaps of why she's the killer. And that's when the pacing fell off for me. That's when everything really fell off for me. So I love this movie up to that point. And then just to have Alice at the end smiling like, yeah, I'm still crazy. I still could kill somebody. Like, you know what I mean? It was just, and then when they killed the father, I knew she was going to kill him, but everybody's just crying and watching him die. I don't know if you noticed that. He was like dying for like 5 minutes, and everybody's like, oh.
Someone go wrap around his neck or something. Like
somebody do something. So it fell apart for me at the end, fellas. I'm not going to lie. Be real honest. But everything up to that point was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was very sophisticated and ahead of its time. I was not expecting it to be that good on a technical level. So when you guys tell me that this guy did porn before or this or that before, man, he's a really good filmmaker, man. Just I guess some of the script was wonky and the editing was wonky.
Well, I think that's where it falls down. I think they just had a little bit more, like you said, for the motivation on the old woman that would have sold it a little bit more. I still feel it sold enough, because I think the whole movie wanted you to think it was Alice. It didn't want you to think it was this woman.
I would have preferred.
And if you think about Alice,
for real,
Alice is all. I think what the movie was trying to do is Alice is all perception. Karen was the pretty little girl. Everybody thought for some reason the movie, like every character said that Alice was ugly. She really wasn't ugly. Maybe it was she was a little homier, or just because of her looks, she was expected to be that way. And I think the whole movie just kind of tried to sell you on that, and then it just revealed that it was your labor. I like one or two more scenes just to sell me on why this old woman would be it.
One more thing I want to drop in there is that on the second watch, when you watch it and you know that who the killer is, in the very opening scene with Father Tom giving the cross to Karen, that woman is there like cleaning the floors and she's making these faces, right? And Alice shows up wearing the fucking mask.
It scares her.
And the thing, it scares her, right?
And
so if your idea is that, and somebody mentioned earlier that this woman is trying to frame Alice, that's why she pulls that's why she wears the costume she does.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't go out of its way to explain this to you on its first viewing, and that's why I actually like it. But
it's a movie to think about.
I would be having a different conversation with y'all if I did not rewatch this movie. I'm telling you.
Well, I think the big thing is,
a lot of the elements that were there were really good. Like I liked the whole yellow raincoat with the see-through mask. I thought it was brilliant. Some of the shots
the other mask
of the mask. Yeah, some of the shots where the eyeballs are just moving around, and I'm like, this is really brilliant. It's really creepy. And this guy, I don't know who's the cinematographer here, but they're doing a great job. But like I said, story-wise, and again, maybe the second watch will make you be like that. But if this is your first time around, this movie will lose you at that point.
Here's something to think about. Being an old fucking guy like I am, I remember coming out of the theaters watching a lot of these 70s movies, and a lot of these 70s movies, their whole the whole thing they want to do to the audience is leave them to have them come out and talk about what they just watched.
Yeah.
Instead of spelling it out directly. Now we're in an era now where there has to be some kind of plot exposition to explain every little point for the audience to go. And they go, look, you didn't get it. This is it.
That's why we love DHS. And does anybody remember after Scarp had watched it this week in our DHS chat?
That's right.
He was like, "What the fuck did I just watch? I have no idea."
Yeah, but some of the stuff was great though. Like the when she killed the real father, not the priest father, the real father. In that damn fucking abandoned warehouse or whatever.
Yeah,
the way she did it, where she just jumped on him and put a brick in his head, like boom.
Well, right, and then she hit him with a plank, and he must have had chiclets in his mouth because all his teeth went flying out.
She's trying to get that cross back, and then when they're doing the autopsy, and they're like, he bit down on it.
Yeah.
It just made it. It just made that scene like extra. Like, oh my god.
I just didn't like it was this elderly Italian woman. She's not scary. She's not, you know what I mean? Alice.
Well, sometimes
he never takes the calls during his lunch.
You know what I mean?
Hey, was Jason Voorhees' mom scary?
Fuck yeah, she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that scary? Come on.
She was scary, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Those teeth, too perfect.
Yeah.
Don't trust her.
Yeah.
The name changes was asking what's the plot of the movie, yo. Robbie,
very quick.
You can say it short and sweet for him real quick.
A young woman's first communion, she gets murdered. The blame goes to her sister, but her sister didn't do it.
There you go.
Or did she?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, murdered.
And there's a creepy fat dude with a lot of cats.
She gets choked out and then burnt. That's the way.
My man Steph, able to make it. I hope you weren't backstage too long.
Oh boy. No. You know sign language? I tell you what, we don't even have to hear you to pick up the sex appeal with that unbuttoned shirt. I see you, boy. I see you.
Just fix it. We'll wait for you, bro.
We'll be here.
Fix it. We're here, bro.
See all those fat dudes are wearing t-shirts, man, for a reason.
Yeah, I love that shirt, bro. I
fuck
think
you calling
that
fat?
where'd you get that shirt? Fright Rags?
Yeah.
Ooh. Sick.
Oh yeah, though. Fabes, that was all you wanted to mention on it, though. Did you have anything else?
No, yeah, like I said, it ultimately disappointed me, but it only disappointed me because it led me up so well. Like, it is a great film. Like, it's surprisingly good. Like, given the time it was made, maybe budget. I don't know what this movie's budget was or how big it was.
$350,000, right? He had 9 cinematographers because he had to keep stopping and starting because he was in the middle of a lawsuit. He was being sued over and over by people for like indecency because of his movie. What was it? God damn it. Two Gun said it. Deep something. His porn movie that he made.
Yeah,
Deep Penis.
No, it wasn't Deep Throat either.
Deep Throat.
No, it wasn't Deep Throat.
Deep Scrode. We'll get it.
Two Gun said he felt the same way as you on his
it
first
was
watch.
called
Deep sleep.
Yeah.
Deep.
Like
red.
if you watch it again and you probably knowing that who the killer is, then you start noticing all the little details. But if you're just watching, they just like Scarpath said, you just don't get that motivation right away. You don't.
Yeah, and
if you're not intuitive.
That's
intuitive like that, you're out of this.
Well, that's also kind of a fault with the movie, right? Because it does set itself up as not being a whodunit. And then they're trying to pull that twist. Like it's an interesting thing because I was disappointed after the first time I watched it.
Right.
But
and I love Alice, and I love Alice so much that it's like they take her away from me for the last half hour.
Right.
And then at the end, she comes back with her mean smile and her her look, and I'm like, damn, that's what
I was thinking about this.
More her.
I was thinking about this, and the movie, dude wants it to be called Communion. That's why the Blu-ray says Communion, right? If this movie doesn't have Alice in the title, it does have a different kind of vibe because you're not expecting Alice to be the main character because there's not really a main character in this movie.
Right. I mean,
it's supposed to be an ensemble, and that's what it is.
The mom could be a main character.
Right. I guess it could be a
mom,
toss up between the mom and Alice, but you're right. I mean, if the movie title to me made it clear that Alice was the main character.
Yeah, and that was a
Without
studio
that,
imposed title. They wanted that, so
I like the decision too. Comedian's a cool name, but I like that it hits different with that title. That's interesting.
it was also back then around the same time they had that Christopher Walken movie called Communion, so it may have been kind of confusing.
I remember when the cop looked at her file, I was like, this kid is nuts.
Yeah.
I wrote that in my fucking notes. I was like, this cop knows what's up, man.
But he was wrong.
Nuts.
I would see it. I'd watch a spin-off movie just with her walking around doing ill
that's
shit.
the thing. That's the thing. Every character in that movie had the wrong idea about Alice. They all were.
But this is what I liked about it.
But that's the vibe she put out.
She did the thing. Well, you think she killed the person, and they were onto her immediately. And I was like, oh, well, this is different. They figured it out already.
Well, because they know she was
so intriguing. You know what I mean?
She's kind of like she kind of had that Tuesday Wednesday vibe from the Addams Family, that kind of blank stare.
Stiff.
I think he's frozen any mood.
There he is.
Talk again.
There he goes.
I heard him slightly.
If you're on your phone, maybe use your phone speakers, brother. Your phone's mic.
Yeah, he's been having that trouble lately. I wonder what's going on with that. What should we talk about next before Steph comes back in? You guys want to go around and say, damn, there's not really many.
I was gonna say we've already talked about fucking most of the topics
I know.
we normally get into.
We could go about the music, I guess, if you want. We didn't really dive into that because there's not really much on the practical effects. The kill with Father at the end, I think that looks really good. Obviously, it has that Giallo style blood. You know what I mean?
I like the hug where she hugs him and the blood comes pouring out. That's great.
That's great. And he's just like dead as fucking her. There you go.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
No. Yeah. Yo.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got
you. Can't
you.
Hear us.
You got a bit of a delay going on, but we can hear you.
Steph, you were able to watch this first time watch it as well, I'm guessing, for you?
Yes.
What did you think, my brother? We are all very curious to hear.
I dug it. I dug it for the most part. I should have been paying more attention in the beginning, or it'll hit me different on a rewatch. But I was kind of feeling what Fable was saying, like when they revealed that it was the Italian lady. Like, what? Like I thought for sure. I mean, I guess that's just good misdirection on the film's part, but I thought it was for sure the younger sister. Like, oh, she's her sister up. She's calling neighbors fat ass and shit like that. It was kind of giving me like, I thought it was gonna like where it's mom knows her daughter's a little sadistic and evil, but she doesn't believe it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. A little
like
T-Pain action. You're kind of fucking. You're cutting it and out. It sounded a little digital, like you're auto-tuned at times.
But all in all, not a bad signal from Mars.
Come on, Steph. At least buy me a drink.
I'm in love with the stripper.
But I enjoyed it for the most part.
Like all in my head is T-Pain.
Steph enjoyed it. I love that's the best
so
bit ever right there. There he is.
I love it.
Am I still coming in?
It's
like
so frustrating when you're on that other side. Steph, we're here with you.
I agree. I agree with you.
I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
There we go. I think
we gotta do the music and score for Two Gun. Plus it is really good. No, he said, bro, do it, man. And they do behind the scenes. They do go deeply into the music. The guy who does it.
He's like sitting there with his piano, like playing it for you. He's
I
like,
know.
I wrote
seriously.
this theme.
Now, this is what I was doing, and what I was thinking in my pure geniusness.
He does kind of seem like he gets high on the smell of his own farts, man.
Yeah. Smell of his own farts and malted scotch that he has. He's just sniffing scotch and farts all night long, coming up with ideas.
Right, he probably
We've
could
all
tell,
been there, man.
he could probably tell all his buddies, "Hey, I scored 3 films. Fucking Alice, Communion, and Holy Fucking Town. I scored all 3, man. That's my catalog."
Steph, you want to talk about the music real quick, maybe in 1 or 2 sentences?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Steph, do you know Morse code, man?
Steph, man,
he's coming through right now, though. That's
Yeah,
what's
you
fucked
sound
up.
good now, Steph.
You good, brother.
Thing, it had like the little eerie, sinister vibes to it, where it kind of like it would play right before like a scene played out to let you know like something's up. I think it was spinning. The best one to articulate all this, so I just say I think it worked for the film. It was very fitting. I noticed it. Sometimes I don't really notice the music until afterwards, but I was like, okay, I fuck with the song during the scene, so I think it was fitting for the film and of its time.
For sure.
As less T-Pain-ish as I can make that sound.
Yeah,
that sounded great,
good.
man. That sounded more like Jadena.
My man.
Jadina's ready.
What do you think?
I agree with Steph, man. It fit. It worked. I love those violins. Those like that Amityville horror kind of like violins.
Hey, can you reenact that one more time? I didn't hear that.
I think that's the noise that cat made when the kid squashed it.
Oh God.
But yeah, I like those strings. I like there was even one with a vocal, right? Like choir kids or something like that. Like,
There's a lot of church oriented.
Yeah.
There was a theme with that in it. I dug it. So yeah, I agree with Steph. I noticed it. And the parts that I did notice were good. They fit the scenes. They were creepy. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Hell
Yeah. Vern, diggity.
Yeah, it stood out to me this time. I watched it I think the first time with headphones on, so it always stands out to me more there. There was a lot of creepy, mysterious like keys being played during the first murder in the church, where you've got the choir going and like the one woman singing lead. I thought that was dope as hell. And
She says something about Jesus has blessed across my breast or something in that song. I don't know what the fuck was going on there, by the way. I don't know.
It gave me. It's funny because it's 20 years later. I just watched the original Psycho again, and it's
did?
People just pulled from that Psycho score for 50 years.
There's a Psycho homage in this too. There's a movie poster because there's another.
Oh yeah,
anybody noticed the movie set in 1961?
What about the Creep Show? What about the Creep Show thing? Creep Show came out after, but what about the I want my cake?
I want my dude. That's my favorite character outside of Alfonso. Is that fucking
cold?
Well, and that's
a good woman.
Actually, that's a good point out, Robbie. And everybody forgets that the very first shot says it's 1961. Obviously, it's a period piece by the Cars, but that makes a big difference with the church and everything that was going on. Oh. Whereas if this movie took place now, it would be like The Sopranos with Father Phil, eating the pasta at Tony's house.
What I love is it's a subtle thing too, right? Because you see JFK in the background on the police detectives' walls amongst all these pornographic images. By the way,
they got topless babes back. The cops, God bless.
Yeah, there's the Psycho playing. It says now playing Psycho at one point, and the priest is right in front of it. Yeah,
I didn't pick up then that it was a period piece. That's interesting. The other thing I was gonna say, music wise, what was it? Oh, just that, it sounded like Psycho, but then there was like Godfather elements to it too. There was bits and pieces that sounded like Godfather.
What movies are popular in the last 10 years?
Right. But it was good. It stood out to me quite a bit, for sure.
Heck yeah, man. Scarphead, what did you think, buddy?
Yeah, I thought the music was good. I mean, it had that religious undertone to it, along with the thriller aspects to it. I thought he melded it. Then it wasn't in your face like a deep red, but it wasn't then again as memorable as a deep red either. So, do you want music that's in your face? You want music that's low key? For this movie, I think low key was what it needed, but it was all right. I mean, not bad.
Robbie, my man. Or
not enough Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, in that score. But other than that, yeah.
It's definitely a 70s,
score. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say, Robbie, before you go, did you guys agree? Maybe it was different on the Blu-ray. I streamed it on Amazon. I thought overall the sound quality was shit.
Oh, the sound on the Blu-ray is amazing.
Okay, on Amazon, the vocals, the music, it just didn't sound good. And then picture-wise, and I actually enjoyed the aesthetic of it, but there's lines going through it. There's shit stuck on the camera lens.
Wow. You're seeing an older this movie for a long time. It was almost treated like a grindhouse movie. Mm-hmm. It looked like crap until they remastered it for this Blu-ray.
Okay, cool.
The YouTube link was really good.
I was about to be like, what did it look and sound like on YouTube when you watch the mass killings or whatever the fuck?
Yeah,
I used the link Fable sent. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, on YouTube it was Holy Terror. So.
Yeah, Holy Terror. Yep.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Sorry to cut you off, Mr. Billups.
Oh, you didn't cut me off. You cut Dylan off.
Oh, well, sorry to cut anybody off. That felt cut off.
But Dylan was throwing it to me. So, I mean, this is what I would say is it does have that 70s vibe. My original notes say music is solid, utilizing strings, organ, harpsichord, piano. They're doing different things with different instruments. And at the end, I say music is nice, but it doesn't have a distinct identity. On the rewatch, I love this dissonant tone that's throughout the music in this film, right? It's very much a mid-70s horror film, right? It is unfortunate that we're covering this after Deep Red, because Deep Red came out the year before. It's a better film, and it's got better music, and because it's Goblin, right? And Goblin did that score in a day with scraps. Anyway, so
in a cave
on a day with a bunch of scraps. But it doesn't find its identity. But on the rewatch, there is the theme. It's Alice's theme, and you mentioned it. It's the vocal thing. It's the and there's really interesting things, but they don't penetrate the film's score with that theme. So it never ties together. So it does have an identity, but then it loses it to copy something like Psycho or Godfather or any other of these 70s films that were going on at the time. So it's a good score, but it doesn't stand out amongst others of its time.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well said, Robbie, as always. Yeah, I am too, Gun. It's not Goblin, but it's good, man. I definitely enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it. Hold on 1 second.
Pausing for effect.
So,
how about them Cowboys?
Shut the fuck up. We'll find out tomorrow. Cooper Rush. Anyway. My
bad.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thank God.
My bad, bro. Fucking someone's calling me. I couldn't not answer it. I think the score goes absolutely perfect with the movie, though. I think it has that 70s vibe to it. It definitely has some good scares. It's a lot better than it damn well should be, for sure. You know what I mean? With how low budget time director. I really do enjoy the score. I think that, they had this creative artsy guy do something pretty damn nice with it, man. And he took from some Hitchcockian, movies that he'd seen before and, created his own thing. And I think it works, man. I really do enjoy it. And I definitely think it's a banger. I guess we'll get into the ratings. If
you want to do theme?
I gotta take a piss really quick. Give me one. If y'all bullshit give me 30 seconds bullshit, I'll be right back.
Where's my yellow raincoat?
Yeah, dude. I looked
Maybe
around
he'll be
online
back.
for an Alice Sweet Alice mask because it's kind of like I listened to Robbie's Scream review last week where they were talking about that was just a generic mask, the ghost face mask. I
Yeah.
feel the same way about this one. Like I've seen this mask my whole life, but I've never
Right.
seen this movie. Like that's just a mask that's out there. I tried to get one for this review, but it
The
didn't.
yellow raincoat thing threw me off for a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I was at first I was like, how does everybody have the same goddamn raincoat? Like,
Right, it's the
how does
church's
everybody have-
coat.
Right.
But I didn't get that until the end when she had the school's name on the
Right.
coat, like the Catholic
That's
school's
indicative
name.
of the film.
And I said, oh, no wonder they all
Right.
have that.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
But if you look, the only
Yeah.
ones you see wearing it are Alice, the killer,
Right.
Angela. The only ones wearing it are the ones that they point out
But I
as
don't
being
think
suspect.
I ever
Yeah.
caught the school's name on it
Right.
until
Yeah, I didn't
the
either.
end.
Did you also notice that Alice has a cop badge on her outfit? She wears black shoes. The killer has no badge and wears white shoes. So they do differentiate the two. And I think I saw that on Drum Dum or something. But I noticed it on the second viewing. They do make it kind of obvious that it's not Alice. So
Right.
interesting. Same thing though. I was like, oh, it's the fucking church's yellow coat. What kind of church dishes out yellow raincoats to everyone?
Why does everybody wear these raincoats when it ain't fucking raining?
Catholic schools in 1961.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now I know.
Steph, my man, you want to start us off on the rating?
Rating? Yeah. Didn't know what to expect going into this movie like I do with most of these. I'll be honest, like I try not to judge movies based on the time period they came out because of course there's classics throughout the beginning of cinema. But you know, I'm a little biased towards like the 80s and up, you know, like that. Those are generally the movies I enjoy the most. But
Yeah.
I think this was really solid. It made, you know, I was a little pissed, not pissed, but I was like, where did that come from with the Italian lady being the killer? But that made me think maybe, you know, like you guys have been saying, they were dropping clues throughout the film that if you were observant enough, you would have picked up on it. And I respect that. It makes me want to go back and rewatch it, and I will rewatch it. And I will give this. I give this a 4.
Nice.
It's not.
Damn, bro. I
The
forgot
fact
we
that
didn't
it's like,
do the theme.
what's that? The theme. I'll leave that.
Robbie, how the fuck could you let us forget about the theme?
I was taking a piss, man. I come back here onto the rating, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll throw that in with my
Well, we
God
did
damn,
a
thank
couple
God
weeks
for
ago. We blended them in. We rated it and themed it at the same time. So
All
I
right,
suppose
let's
that wouldn't
do that.
be the end of the world if
we'll
we
hit
did
the
that.
theme and rating at the same time.
Well, the theme.
Burn, what the fuck would we do
I thought you were
without
talking
you?
about the music, and then you're talking about the theme. I thought they were the same thing.
I'm sorry, man. I stepped away for I come back and everything's fucked up. I don't know what's going on.
You
here.
come back and we're talking about The Witch. It's like, what the fuck? That's
I was
next
like,
or
what? I haven't
2 weeks
watched
from
it yet. It's that guy's doing the Nosferatu remake or whatever with Willem Dafoe. Did you guys hear that? Is it Robert Eggers or whatever?
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
William Dafoe.
And he's
Yeah.
doing a
Didn't William Dafoe play the
Shadow
guy
of the Vampire.
Yeah.
He already, but this time he didn't actually play Nosferatu in that movie.
No, he played the actor.
He played, he
He's
played
a great
Max
now
Shrek.
he's getting to do it for real.
Shrek.
That's a fantastic casting.
I got that. That movie's
So-
set to find Shadow of the Vampire. I've been looking. Great flick.
I see that Steph was like, theme
Peace.
Yeah, I know. What did he rate it?
4 out of 5.
4.
Okay, Fable. What do you think the theme of this movie is, or what it's trying to say, and your rating?
You know, I think a lot of movies from this era or this time period kind of deal with the hypocrisy of some institutions. In this case, it'll probably be the Catholic Church, and you know, everything's supposed to be all, you know, good and Catholic and Christian and everything. But you see, this is fucked up. Like it's a fucked up situation. You got a psychopathic daughter who's obviously affected by the religion. I think it influences her in a lot of ways. and the things she does and how she interprets religion and how she brings that into her psychopathic world, and the parents as well, right? Like the father is like kind of shamed because he left the woman, the mother or whatever, and the mother is telling the sister, probably using God against her, don't do this on your niece, don't tell them that your niece did this. It's a lot of this Catholic stuff, this Christian, religious stuff going on. And I think it's just trying to pick that apart a little bit, just showing the hypocrisy of some of these things. There's a lot of movies from this era kind of do this, attack institutions, And the rating? Rating would be 3.5.
3.5. Okay, all right.
Like you're drawing how you been in my bathroom. I don't understand.
Burn, my man. What do you think this movie's trying to say? And what is your rating?
I think Fable nailed it there with kind of attack on the institution of the Catholic Church, or at least I assume that that's a Catholic church. But because my original thought was this is another, like in the 70s, there's fear of the youth in society. You're coming off the civil rights movement, the hippie movement, Manson, fucking radical left-wing domestic terrorism coming from the youth. The people were scared of kids, so you get The Exorcist and The Omen and Children of the Corn, which that movie didn't come out till later, but the story was written in the 70s. And just there's a bunch of movies like that. And that's what I'm thinking while I'm watching it. But it's not really that. They're telling you don't necessarily have to be scared of these kids. It is the institutions that you should be more nervous of, specifically the Catholic Church. And
gives you a little bit of Silent Night, Deadly Night vibes, right? Because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a line in the movie that I think just goes to the theme too. And someone's like, you can't even feel safe at church. Just like, and it's just like all these home invasions. It's why Halloween is so scary, because you're at home, you're with the babysitter, you should be safe. But it's the same thing. Like in the church, you're not even safe at church.
And at this time, we got Exorcist, The Omen, right?
Right.
Like we're getting into this like religious inspired.
Breaking away from, because like that, it rules society, certain parts of society. Like where I come from, Puerto Rico, everybody's Catholic. There is no other religion. That is what it is. So everything's governed by God. People go, if they break a toe, they'll say that's what God wanted. Right. So it's our country kind of breaking out of that in a way where it's like, no, God does not explain everything. It's not all about religion. It's not all about, there's other things going on here, and I think they express that through film.
Well, what's so fucking hilarious is that right now we're in the phase, religion is gone. Now everything is the government. They're the ones that can decide everything. If it's going wrong, it's because of the national government. But anyway, as far as a rating goes, I want to give it a 4, but especially after this conversation and you guys pointing out some of the faults of the film, I'll go with a very strong 3.75. And if it wasn't for I think the worst bits are the fact that it's confusing, that as we've all been pointing out, the motivation for the killer, it could just be cleaned up a little bit. Like, leave plenty to the imagination for the audience to figure out, but don't make it to where you gotta fucking, don't make it as difficult to figure out the motivation as it is, and then clear up some of these confusing bits with these characters that are supposed to be the suspects that were not. Oh, and then the one other thing is there's obviously bits about you need a strong father figure in the home. They mentioned the father as being estranged. We've been pointing out by he's not a real father figure to Alice, and look what she's up to because of that. So it's a good point. The statistics are strongly behind that. You need a strong male figure in your life as a child. So there's definitely that too.
I will be your father figure.
What do you guys think it would have been more interesting if Alice would have been the killer? Like the ending scene is what makes me kind of like linger on that. It's like I feel like they were implying she was capable of some shit, or
I think
it would have been interesting to me if she was a killer sometimes.
Yeah,
like they revealed that she didn't like
she killed everybody.
She killed at least one of them.
Right.
I saw that theory, and that's why I think why they differentiated their costumes. with the badge and the shoes, so that you can't really ever say it was Alice. But now she doesn't have the proper influences. Now she's influenced by this, and yeah, it was a weird.
You know that shortly after this, Alice is going to get into Kiss, right? You know, and it's just going to get bad. And I'm really, I feel like the greatest shame is we never got Alice, Sweeter Alice. You know, like that would be a good one.
She'd be dead by an overdose by 19.
Well, I mean, when even
at Studio 54,
when even the creepy neighbor has a bad vibe about you, you must have something going on,
right?
I mean, he said, I you know, he didn't even like.
I know what you've got downstairs. Yeah. At first, I was like, "Whoa, that's creepy." Oh, he's talking about the basement.
Right.
Okay,
but he was still gonna, you know.
Yeah, it was gross. It was really gross.
I'm glad you cleared that up too about the doll thing. I didn't get that at first. When you said that she thought that her sister was haunting her, that's why she held up.
Also, how creepy is that
I
fucking
didn't get
doll?
That at first.
It's got three fucking faces. Y'all notice that?
And that was on purpose. I think the mother brings it back to her in the police station. He goes, "I thought you would want this." You know, the three-faced doll.
Yeah, I would have took the doll as
and in the end, that's what it was. The three faces.
All of that.
The three faces of Alice. In the beginning of the movie, you had her as kind of the jealous but semi-normal daughter. Then in the middle, you had her as the suspected killer, and then at the end, you have her as somebody who might be a suspected killer. So she had like three faces.
She does love to torment her sister. She loves to torment Alfonso.
Yeah.
Hey, fatty, my mom thought you might want some cake.
That's right. She gives me the finger.
Though,
like when he was like, though. Little bitch. I felt him, bro. I was like, yo, I would have.
But he's like, yes, I want this cake. I really do.
He was like, it's a shame all the pretty ones die.
Dude. That guy is like catty as shit, man. Like
I was
whole
thinking
movie about Alfonso, man.
When Alice went deep chocolate there, let me tell you something. I just thought to myself, thank God she's really fucking 19. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, when he almost raped out on her, it was like filling up on her. I was like, wait a minute, what's gonna go on here? What's happening? But that's why it was a little ahead of its time, I believe, with these weird stretches, because it felt like an HBO thing. Like HBO does stuff like that where they show like real intense kind of whoa, you know, just for value like that. So
or just how nasty that dude is. Like my buddy was saying, it's like a John Waters film all of a sudden.
And that guy,
I almost thought, I was like, when he got stabbed, I was like, bro, you got too much. Sorry,
yeah, I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, he got too much body in that.
If Dewey lived through 2 fucking screams getting stabbed, he's still alive.
Well, he was also the landlord too. They were paying him the rent.
Yeah, he was good. I liked his character.
Damn, she's calling.
We never said favorite characters. We never say favorite characters.
Oh yeah, we forgot the favorite character. How can we forget favorite characters, man? Who's taking a piss here?
It's because we all keep interrupting each other and going so long, man. Dylan's trying to keep this show together, man, and tight. Come on, man. Let him do his thing.
Scarpad, man, what do you think the theme of the movie is? And what do you think? Where are you
2 sentences or less.
Dylan, did you just wake up, Dylan? What? Say who? So I'm going to do theme, rating, and my favorite character all in one, since we skipped all that shit. The theme, I think it's talking about It's talking about dysfunctional families. We're seeing the beginning of the movie how they're totally dysfunctional. Well, they're showing favoritism from one kid to the other, which is causing that whole situation with Alice. So I think that's what the movie ultimately about, and then it kind of leaves you guessing in kind of a who done it. Well, you're not guessing about who did it, but you're kind of like, she did it all the way to the end. But then you don't, and it shows you something different. So I think overall, just the whole theme is deception. People's impression of you from the beginning to the end, how people automatically thought it was her. Didn't give it, she did it. She, but the father and the mother did think differently. And ultimately that's what kind of swerved things. But in the end, she was nuts anyways. So my rating...
Right.
My rating, I'm going to give it a 4.0. I had some issues with some of the editing a little bit and some of the writing and the motivation. Overall, I think it did a pretty good job for an American film as being as close to like a giallo film that the Americans could maybe do. So its heart was in the right place. So I would say 4.0. My favorite character, although it's the landlord guy, is pretty good, I tell you. I'll give it to Alice. I thought she did a great job in selling the misdirection, giving off a creepy vibe, even when she was really guilty of nothing throughout the whole movie, and then giving you that vibe that she's flipped the switch at the end. So I think 4.0.
Solid rating. That last scene, kept reading about it, but it was like that was very effective. Like she just had this dead stare, bro. Like she was just disconnected. It worked.
Right. It did that 80 or that 70s freeze shot, but I didn't hate it for it. It was dope, actually.
It was perfect. Yep.
Which I thought that's what they were doing at the end of Halloween 2018, by the way, where they show Laurie Strode's granddaughter holding the knife. I'm like, what the fuck are they trying to do here? So I always thought that they were going to try and make her the future killer.
I thought that's what they were doing at the end of Halloween 4.
Exactly.
I think it's Robbie's turn next.
What was your rating, Scarpad?
Oh, I said it's time, man. Are you? Hello. 4.0, man. 4.0.
Nice.
4.0 Slips. Good movie.
Nice.
Robbie, my man, what are you thinking on this? And what do you think the theme of this movie is trying to say?
It's got a bunch of different themes, right? Coming of age, very obvious, right? The hypocrisy of adults, how little adults know, even though from a child's eyes, adults are supposed to be invaluable, right? And once you realize that they're not, like, it's about that. Alice is going through that. It's about, if I was Manny, I would turn myself into Vin Diesel right now and say family. It's about family. It's about grief. It's about grief. It's one of those things, kind of like the Babadook is an exploration on grief, a meditation on it, if you will, if you're a pretentious Scream 5 writer. Anyway, I think it's the best American giallo until Dressed to Kill, which I think is the best American giallo.
Absolutely.
But I think the real theme is this. It's religion, right? It's the hypocrisy, the sanctimonious people that are just filled with this pharisaical, I don't know if that's a word, but like the Pharisees in like the New Testament, how they're so self-righteous, but they're so filled with sin, envy. Like these are the people that Jesus was talking about that have the giant beams of wood sticking out of their eyes, talking about the little specks of wood in other people's eyes, right? It reminds me a lot of Saint Maud, though, in that way, because when the killer reveal happens, and the backstory, the director of this film made an X-rated film that was very successful, got fucked by the government, and got fucked by his church. They excommunicated him, okay? So this dude was a Catholic, got excommunicated from his church for making this X-rated film. And I guarantee you, a half of the people that voted to excommunicate him probably watched that film. Okay. Mm-hmm. So like this is a rebuttal, I think, right? Against that system, against that way of thinking, the hypocrisy of it. Right. And then when they do that's all throughout the movie. And then when they flip the script, they flip the theme. When they reveal that it's the Italian woman that's the killer, all of a sudden it goes into this Saint Maud idea where that death is a reward. And that's something that always bothered me because I used to be deep into the church. I was studying to be a preacher and all that stuff. Being a couple decades out of that, the idea of death being a reward, suffer until death and hope that's something that's such a shitty way to look at life. And it's so shitty that people get fucking indoctrinated into something like that. It can twist you into what you think life can be. And what this woman did was she's so focused on the idea, especially this very Catholic heavy idea of punishment as a reward, right? It's like Silent Night, Deadly Night. It goes very deep into its theme there. And I love that at first it's just showing you how creepy and hypocritical these people and this place and this faith can be, not is, but can be, right? But it flips it when they reveal her as the killer, which makes me actually like this movie more the second time, because it takes that theme and goes, and look how it can twist someone's mind. And the idea is that even when you get rid of this one, worry about the next generation. It's Alice. Alice at the end becomes the next killer. Why? Because she's obsessed with it too. Because the entire movie is about one thing: communion. It starts at the beginning with Alice not getting communion, and at the end, she doesn't get it again.
Nope.
There you go. So I think it's a very scathing criticism on the Catholic Church, on the people who make up the church, and a warning about what this kind of message that should be hopeful and resonate for peace and love, how it can be twisted into something that's about punishment and death. And a lot of us get scared into joining the church. And this is a rebuttal against that.
Yeah, I agree.
So for my rating,
100%.
I'm going 4. I mean, when I first watched it, I was going to go with 3. On the rewatch, I thought maybe 3.5. After talking about it, I'm going 4. I'm not even doing the 69-bit, bro. I'm doing 4, 100%. This is a movie I think I'm going to appreciate the more and more I watch it, actually, especially because of some personal experiences I've had dealing with the family and grief from the loss of a young sibling, dealing with the church, and dealing with this idea, this dichotomy of an idea of trying to be about love and optimism, but at the same time about like punishment. And you get so far into it. You know how like when you become like a gym rat and all of a sudden you look at other people that don't go to the gym, you're like, you piece of shit. That's what happens to people that go to church sometimes.
Right.
You got to protect yourselves. We're not better than anybody else. Even the people that go to the comic shop every week, we get the sense that we're better than the people that just come in. I myself call them normies and muggles. We're all fucking normies and muggles in this world, man. None of us know shit.
Right. No, I feel you completely, because especially when you said about the suffering part and the way the old lady feels that way about suffering, because if you've been in a deeply religious family, you know that, like I said, everything bad that happens is God's will. And when you're young, you're like, dude, no, God, no.
2 times in this movie, 2 times the script makes a point to point out her past. She mentions that she had a daughter who got killed, and she questioned why her, and it was to teach her a lesson. So she's trying to teach this woman a lesson, right? And then they show it again because she's looking at those photos of her daughter. So like that's fucking twisted, bro. Like you feel like the death of your young daughter is some kind of sign by God to get your life. Like, bro, that's fucked up. That's a fucked up way to go about your life for the next 40, 50 fucking years. And all of a sudden you're twisting it on somebody else because they like sex, because they're human. Like that's fucked up, man. And that's what this movie's about, dude. Like straight, this dude made a porn, got excommunicated from his church, bro. This was him railing at that, man.
And he did a great job. He did a good job, man. Like I said, the twist was the only part that got me, but other than that, the lead up was great.
I hope he got over it, man. I'm just gonna say that, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So you say the 4 straight up?
Straight up a 4.
Yes, sir. So obviously all y'all said it all, man. Definitely big points on the church and what people thought and what other people thought about it, and I obviously you get the smug looks from the people that were in the church thinking they're better than the other people looking down. And then you would just get a lot of these movies that was something that scared people, man. Like The Exorcist, The Omen, those like really got into like the psychosis of people where they were rioting, you know what I mean? Just like they did with Silent Night, Deadly Night over the Santa Claus Killer. Dude, there's movies that really get into the psyche and kind of fuck with you. Like they make you think. I mean, the first person to get murked in this is like a 9-year-old girl. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I was like. Whoa.
And they burn her, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They burn her.
And when
like,
they only show you the corpse in an image
Yeah,
right? As it's going down the thing.
Yeah.
But that's fucked up, man. That's a
Yeah.
striking image, man.
Dude, it's so crazy, man. There's so many great film or shots in this. There's some great, colors. I love the tones in this. The cinematographer did a good job. But
all of them.
Yeah. I forgot.
All fucking 9 of them.
It's got
and the police in this movie had more of like we were talking about American Mary last week when we talked about how the cop in that movie had really no he didn't overall affect the plot of that movie really at all. And in this movie the police did kind of figure in their scenes had weight with the father and so forth. So that's a big difference too, is that the cops in this movie served a purpose, whereas in American Mary they really didn't. Those scenes furthered the whole doubt they had.
Well, he actually fucking caught the person, and that was only because of what Alice did by leaving the roaches on the guy.
Right.
So it all actually worked out in some crazy devious plan. But he did.
They still did that.
He got murked because of it.
They did the Giallo trope where they just pick some random guy that isn't a cop, isn't a detective, ends up acting as a detective the whole movie, which was the dad in this one.
Father Dom.
One thing that you guys didn't really mention is that we got something that was real important to these like the Italian woman that came over. You could tell she didn't live her whole life in the States. She'd come over from, you know what I mean? And those people that came over from the boat, they really focused on their religion a lot and their family. And she thought that father was like her family, so she took it serious when that happened. And you know what? I do think that the fucking mom did bang the father. That's why I went so deep and far.
He's Karen's dad, man.
And I'm so glad Tugun said, children pay for the sins of their parents. So what did the mom do for that to happen? You know what I mean?
She called her a whore.
She
calls her a whore, man. Yeah, she slept with the father. Tom is Karen's dad, man.
Yeah, I believe it, dude.
It's beyond a fan theory. I'm going to go meet this old fucker who made this movie and get him to admit it. That's what I'm going to do.
Dude, that's a great thing about this movie is that it's so open-ended where we just came up with that. Somebody else that reviews this could come up with something totally different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not
wrong, but
that's their thought process on it. You know what I mean?
I 100%. I was picking up on that the first time.
I like that, man. I like that.
He the way he puts his arm around her at the beginning. Karen's his daughter. He knows that. That's your mom's cross. Why would you give that to her? Who else would I give it to?
Right.
There's a big thing going on there. And it has so much to say about Alice. This movie's fucking deeper the more I talk about it, man. I love it. I can go for hours. I'll shut up.
Weird in a way, though. Does the mom know that it's his daughter?
I feel like a lot of you guys feel this way from second watch. Now, that's cool. But if a movie don't grab you that first watch, then
But hey,
I
agree.
Grabbed you, though.
But then again,
it shouldn't require.
Do you blame yourself or do you blame the movie? Now, like in a case with Deep Red, like last week, you could say
myself.
Some
I
people
don't blame
pick,
myself at
some
all.
people.
There's
No,
a
but I'm
lot
just saying.
of things here.
Same people picked up the face in the mirror. Some people didn't pick up the face in the mirror. So the movie can only
that's a different thing.
The movie's on film, so what's there is there. So while you're watching it, you might catch something the first time, but then if not, you might catch it the second time.
Because
that's interchangeable.
Everything you guys are saying, the deepness of the story, the underlying tones and story, that would elevate it to a 4 with me. But I got to bring it back to a 3.5 just because it's a 4. It's a 4 to begin with because I didn't like the twist. Right, then it goes to a 3.5 because I shouldn't have to watch it a second time to pick up on everything you guys are saying, even though it's dope that it's there. And when I pick it up again, it might elevate.
There are plenty of movies I think in my life that I've appreciated the more I've watched. Now, usually those movies give me something. Like when I finished Donnie Darko for the first time, I had no fucking clue what I had just watched. But I knew that there was something there that warranted a rewatch. Same with like Richard Kelly, Southland Tales. Same with this one. There was something there where I was like, I think I need to get back to this. Now, I'm not saying that it's your fault or the movie's fault, right?
No.
This is a first impression from you.
Right.
And like those of us who chose to try to fit in a second, and it's hard. And like it was like I probably shouldn't have watched it because I also watched 6 episodes of Cobra Kai yesterday to get fucking caught up. So I wouldn't get any spoilers, and that shit's awesome. But
so fucking good.
I think your rating for what you see and what you say is valid. But the next time you watch it, you'll have a different opinion.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you have to.
It's already
right?
going up. It's already going up in my mind. I'm thinking in my head, damn, they're right about all these sub themes, and they were all there. They were just a little too subtle.
Yeah.
It's
And
too important. What's missing
I
is
still
too
think there's some
important.
structural things going on, and I think it has to be a point against it because every one of you said the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like this the first time, or it missed me the first time, went back, and my appreciation went up.
100%.
So the point,
ultimately, that's a
has to go
failure
down
of that
for that.
film because most people
Right.
won't watch a movie a second time if they didn't like it the first time.
Right.
Right. Hell yeah.
Bingo. Pop, pop, boom.
But what's the point of all? Right? So, Dylan, what you think, man?
Did you rate it, homeboy?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4 all day. I really enjoyed this. I think the more I watch it too, I think I'll like it more and more over the years. I absolutely love the masks. Both of them are so awesome. I love that it's not just the one that she takes off, and then the second one's even creepier. I thought Alice was absolutely awesome. She's great in this, creepy, weird. The fucking twist is so good. I get that it's kind of like, what, it's not as bad to where you're like, who is this lady? You know what I mean?
Right.
But
think about that scene, Dylan.
Pieces, you could figure it out why she killed her, and it's good enough, man. A fucking psycho crazy lady doesn't need an excuse to kill someone.
Dude.
She's fucking crazy and psycho. She's gonna just kill people.
Dylan, when you rewatch this movie, like, and you know what's going on, like, it's so crazy because Dom thinks that he doesn't think it's Alice. He thinks that's his like 13, 12-year-old niece, right? When he sees that it's her, when the reveal happens and the change that happens in him when he starts freaking the fuck out, man. Like, I love that, dude. I love it.
Hilarious.
Or rolling him and shit. Great.
He starts screaming. He starts doing his Jamie Lee Curtis, man. He's like, ah!
What up,
There's
Jay?
a lot. There's
What
a lot
up,
to
Jay?
love here, man.
Oh, I did want to point out because we mentioned
That's not
Psycho.
Jake's trick, is
the
it,
car
Robbie?
that they're riding is the same car that the woman buys in Psycho. When she goes and swaps her car, it's the same car that they end up piling him in after she gets stabbed on the steps. Food for thought.
I'm glad I watched this. Like, I'm glad this was suggested because I'm kind of shocked that I didn't see a movie of this caliber yet. Like, from that time, I try to watch all the movies that have, like, you know what I'm saying? Some
my
sort
man's
of
Pedro with the banger again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Surprised I
didn't think it at first either. I was like, man, Pedro.
Dude, I mean, we went like an hour 40 straight on this.
Yeah,
we gave. I think we gave it a good.
It's a great discussion.
Yeah,
and that's what horror movies are all about. That's that's what art is all about. Like being able to experience it and then discuss our experiences.
Hell yeah, we got a 4 from me, 4 from Robbie, 4 from Scarpad,
3.75 from Verno,
3.75 from Vern, 3.5 from Fable, and 3.5 from Steph.
4
from Steph. Okay, so we got all 4s from everyone except Fable and Vern. Vern's at 3.75, Fable 3.5.
All respectable.
We got an
3.69.
average score of man, that dude, it's like a 3.869.
Yes,
that's good math.
3.869 gotta be
good math, man.
All day long.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, watch this fucking movie twice.
Dude, straight up.
Watch
Damn, Dylan, you want to know the actual average? The actual average is 3.875. So
Are you
you're
kidding?
You're like a
I
goddamn
said
Einstein.
good math, man.
Yeah.
That's good math.
I'm like fucking Val Kilmer from Real Genius.
Damn.
You're like goddamn Dustin Hoffman from fucking Rain Man, dude, over here.
You're like
man.
that baby
I
from
don't like the
Baby
fly.
Jay,
I don't like the
man.
Gotta watch Wapner.
Jay,
Yeah.
is you is or is you not Pokey
you
guy?
is.
Let us know, Jay. Let us know,
Jay
Jay.
Slip? What's Jay Slip?
We're all worried.
Well,
We're all worried.
did I-
Is this Jay Slip? It's not. It's just some dude
I
named
give it
Jerome.
3.5. Jerome gave it a 3.5. Did I tell you that I had definitely seen the opening kill and everything of this movie on Tubi before, but I'd never seen the whole movie with
So
the
I've never seen the movie, Dylan, but I did watch this. I remember
I
this
knew the
very
mask
vividly
and
because it was on the
everything,
first episode of Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments of All Time, right? And
Yeah.
Eli Roth was going off about this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted, and Eli Roth even says, this is like an American trying to do Argento, right?
Yeah.
He even mentions that. And when they talk about it, they all mention that the scariest scene is when Alice scares Karen. And I'm like, that is kind of a fault of this movie, that nothing does kind of, like, that's a good scene, you know, with the two masks. We've mentioned it all night. Some of these kills could have been a little bit more, but that's not how movies were made.
Yeah, the brick in the head bit in the warehouse, that was brutal to me.
And
way
then
he
the
jumped
teeth,
on top
bro.
of him, it just was
The
like,
teeth.
bam.
It's like we were talking about with Deep Red. Argento intentionally said, I want all, like, nobody knows what it feels like to be stabbed, right? Hardly anybody's been stabbed. We have all chipped a tooth. We have all scalded ourselves in hot water. We've all, like, had trouble breathing. Like, these are the things that they use. And so that's why, like, the teeth thing and the head bash, we've all fell and hit ourselves with a rock somewhere in our bodies. So we know what that feels like. Imagine if it's on your fucking tooth over and over and you're biting down on this.
We have all
Well,
cut
that's-
ourselves, though, which is kind of why the slashers, we're sure we haven't been stabbed with a knife, but there's like Michael Myers doesn't have a fucking gun. You know what I mean? That's why
I mean, but
slashers
that's
are
the thing.
still
I mean,
more
this
relatable.
was-
That's why a
This was
slash
two-
is different than a stab.
Right.
I mean, this was 2 years before Halloween, so
It's
this
a
was
long
definitely
time member of the
kind of
PCP Army.
it was kind of carrying in starting the whole slasher movement because it was a mainstream movie that was 2 years before Halloween, and it got a lot of the same elements. I mean,
When did this come out relative to Black Christmas? Before or after?
I think after
Right after
76.
76. So Black Christmas, what, 74, 76?
74. Yeah, I
75,
think you're right.
Any of you guys have anything for show and tell?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I got one thing.
Just a little something.
Yeah, I got
Go
maybe one
first.
too.
Steph, you got it ready?
Let me go grab it.
Yeah. It's not horror related, but it is. Since I saw an update on that new Wolverine game coming out from was it Neversoft? Not Neversoft, but is it Neversoft? Anyways, the people who made that dope ass Spider-Man
I'm
game.
never soft, baby.
Insomniac.
Insomniac, thank you, Dylan. But they made that dope ass Spider-Man game a few years ago. They're making a solo Wolverine game, which I'm pretty excited about.
Where I thought they did the Miles Morales game, and I thought they did.
Yeah, yep.
Did they do the Guardians game, or was that a different company?
That was
I think it was.
Square
That's
Enix.
both company because you could play that on Xbox too.
Your Guardians,
Yeah, that was
that's
Square.
actually a really good game. Yeah. But I got Wolverine Origins. It is for 360.
Hey.
But this is an underrated game. It's like God of War if you
Super
played it
underrated,
with
man.
Wolverine. And I played it years ago when it came out, but I rented it at Blockbuster. This was that long ago. It's gone up in price, I guess, because Activision doesn't own the rights to the Marvel game. So I wanted to grab it before it was like unjustifiable. Like I paid $30 for this,
Did you?
which I was kind of a little sour about because the game came out in
But
2009.
it's gonna go up probably even
Right,
more. I
right.
bet.
That game is fire,
So,
dude. That game is dope.
Yeah. If you haven't played this, track this down. This is a great experience.
Damn. I wonder, can you get that digital? You can't get it digital, I'm sure.
Nope. All the
Probably,
Activision
no?
Marvel owned games, because they lost the rights to
It's
them.
probably way too violent for what Marvel and Disney want now.
Nowadays, yeah.
I remember when
But
that movie, when that game came out, because I didn't play it. I mean, I saw it played, but I worked at Movie Stop right next to a GameStop, and that was the talk of the fucking summer or whatever the fuck it was.
Really?
Like, and that game,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "That's way better than
Because
this fucking shit movie."
every time he gets hurt, his skin gets damaged and it's all messed up, and you see his bones under his arms and stuff, and then he heals. if you don't get damaged, it fills in and it gets it heals up. So they've never done
that one
before.
gets talked like that Punisher game where you're like torturing fucking people and shit. They never make that nowadays. Like, this is
Who wants
Disney.
to go next?
I'll go
Fable?
next.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
That
I'll go.
Punisher
I
game
only
was
got one
badass.
thing. Punisher game is dope. The Deadpool game too. Just another Transformer I picked up today. They're doing combiners. They're doing Menasor. So this is just another piece of Menasor. The leg. My man Wild Rider. So I'm glad to have him.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dope
yeah.
ass card. So now there's only 2 pieces left. So this is the
Oh,
third one.
shit.
Happy to have them. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. That's all.
Very cool.
Nice.
Super cool.
Nice one.
Ryan, you next.
You're gonna have to
brother.
unbox them when you get them all.
I got, because I went to Spirit, what is it called? Spirit Halloween? That's a little store,
Yeah.
traveling store.
Yeah.
I picked up some stuff. I got this dope ass Friday the
Oh,
13th.
Nice.
Oh,
Been
nice.
Oh yeah. That's
back
dope.
on a major Friday the 13th kick because of that game. Any of you guys out there want to play Friday the 13th with me? Hit me up. Verno Domingo 2 on
Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah, bro! I got that.
Okay,
I got that
let's
game
do
on
it.
NES. On
uh,
NES.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4.
Oh, well, the Friday 13th game on NES is
I
dope.
think I got that on Atari. Right?
Yeah.
I got a pretty dope magnet here because I like to pick
Ooh,
up
hell yeah.
magnets
That's
from
a
time
cool
to time.
magnet, bro.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that.
I've been wanting one of these signs. I almost bought like the big like $40 sign of this just to hang up.
Yeah, every con I go to, somebody's got that.
I got
Like,
this
yeah.
shirt.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh.
yo.
I think my
Parrot
sister
card with
had
Freddy
that
on it.
shirt.
That's badass.
I need that.
I got a baby.
Hi.
That's
Madison.
Madison Rose. She's a little cutie McTootie. She's wearing her
Aw.
Halloween
Aw.
outfit. So hi,
Yeah.
Dylan's horror show.
Oh, look at how
Little pumpkin.
cute.
Ah.
When you're a
Oh,
newborn,
little
that's the
pumpkin,
only
little
time.
pumpkin baby.
That's the only time a pumpkin costume works on Halloween.
Bro,
right.
unless
you're Alfonso.
Tell, bro.
Yeah,
You won show
Vern
and
got
tell.
the
There's
most expensive thing of
show and
any of
tell,
us.
man.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Thanks for letting us.
We got her on layaway though.
You
So.
said what, Scarpad?
So you're the most expensive thing of all of us right now.
Oh
And
man,
you'll be
that,
paying
that
for
baby
someone
going.
more
That
than-
baby.
Yeah, do you
going
know how much a
torch you.
baby's worth right now on the black market?
I hope you bought all the horror movies that you wanted before.
I know. I've already been getting cut off. You're not another one. You need another one. Is that streaming? It better not be streaming. That's what I hear.
If you could watch something that got streaming right now,
All the time. You could have watched that for free.
Is it Tubi on?
I need it.
That's when you go for how long? For
Is
how
that all you
long?
had, Vern?
Yeah, that's what I got, brother.
Sorry,
Thanks.
boss.
You think he's got something after his baby?
That
Oh,
would've
by the
been
way,
great.
here's his pest dispenser I got.
Man, maybe.
Did you mean to go to me?
Either you or Robbie, whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Robbie.
Oh.
Jesus. Okay. All right. He's like, I don't want to top a baby. All right. Me neither. All right. Two Guns sent me that. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Loved it. Alice, Sweet Alice starts with the A. You know what else starts with A? Argento. So here's my Argento collection so far: Bird with Crystal Plumage,
Nice.
Cat of Nine Tails,
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Four Flies on Gray Velvet,
Never seen that one.
Deep Red,
Fuck
which
yeah.
we talked about on PCP Movie Night for Horror Fest on Monday. Suspiria,
Yes.
which we talked about last year for Horror Fest. Inferno.
We need to get that one.
Maybe next year.
I'm that dick that always says Inferno instead of Inferno. What the fuck's wrong with me? Tenebrae.
Got that?
We're doing that for March Madness on PCP Movie
Hell
Night.
yeah.
Phenomena,
But,
a movie that Dylan has a thumbnail for but doesn't want to do. That's fine. That's fine.
Is it
That's fine,
phenomenal?
Dylan.
Do it.
It's your show.
We'll
Opera.
do it eventually, dude. Really?
I'm just fucking with you, Dylan. Two Evil Eyes, which he co-directed with George A. Romero. One of them each did a
Oh no shit.
Edgar Allan Poe story. Yeah. What did Romero do? The like Telltale Heart or something? But like Argento did the Black Cat.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's Trauma. This is the recent Vinegar Syndrome release, which is better than the previous release.
No slip.
Sleepless. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
There's Mother of Tears, only available on DVD. I don't want to hear your shit, okay? And here's the Argento cut that I have of Zombie, Dawn of the Dead. And then also he produced these 2 movies, Demons 1 and 2. Also, I showed this off last week, but I opened it up. There's that Raphael Frankenstein monster.
Oh, nice.
Dude, look
So
how cool that is. Real chains, man. Kids love chains. So that's dope. And today is the birthday of Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira. She's 71 years old today.
No way.
So Mike the Voice Matthews hooked me up. Mike the Voice Matthews hooked me up with this Funko Mystery Mini.
Nice.
That's dope. And to go along with all my other NECAs, I got the Elvira.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's awesome.
Great figure. Look at that.
Mhm.
Did you show? Is it her birthday or
Today's her birthday? Yeah. I don't like the window packaging. I like the big box. I would have preferred that, but still very cool figure to have. And they gave her all of her assets.
Oh yeah.
Nice collar. Nice collar. So there you go. That's what I got, buddy.
She looks like Ace Frehley in the mask there.
She does. But Ace Frehley's kind of hot too.
Definitely picking up that Freddy cover next week for the Elvira meets what is it in Horrorland? Oof.
Yeah, you know
it.
Okay, let's see. Well, a couple of these I showed off on Robbie's show last week, but didn't show them off here, so I'll do it again. The Fantastic Voyage, 1966, with Raquel Welch. This will be one of the first few movies we do on Scarpad's Sci-Fi Sojourns, coming in November. So
Sci-Fi Soldiers, nice.
Sci-Fi and Sojourns, which means a trip.
Soldiers. Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
This will be one of the episodes. Hope you guys and some of you guys will be on it for us. And then, of course, showed this last week too. It's my Buzz Lightyear Steelbook.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
That's dope. I like that cover.
This I got this week. I think Robbie. I think Dale got Dale. Dylan, whoever, got this too this week. Platoon in 4K. I kind of wish. I guess Shout Factory doesn't do anything with digital. I wish there were digital copies on here. But it's a good. I get the slip, so I can't wait to watch that one. And then the 4K of Real Genius came out this week. Dylan, I think, watched this on Plex this week.
Small again.
And that came out. Real Genius.
Real Man of Genius.
I used to love those.
I got small. Make me big. There you go.
I don't know why I did that. My bad.
Give him his mushroom.
Oh, you got that? Dude.
So I found the Mist. And this has the black and white and color on the disc, 2 discs. And of course, the black and white is the way to go on the Mist.
Dude, I gotta get that.
I guess Steph showed off some game stuff, so I can show this. I waited 6 months for this. Finally came in the mail this week. It's the Valve Steam Deck.
Nice.
That looks clean, bro.
It's got 512 gigabyte built in and nice glass. It is. I put a couple games on this. I think I put Verizon.
Horizon.
I put Zero Dawn Horizon and Star Wars Squadron, and it plays for. I mean, really, this is a gaming PC they showed down.
What did you play?
That's wild.
You played Red Dawn, the movie on it?
No, Zero Dawn Horizon.
Oh,
it's a PlayStation game. That I downloaded Rogue Squadron, and that played real nice.
Get the Spider-Man, man.
Yeah, I understand. Spider-Man is fantastic. One last thing. Monday, this fucking thing, I found it in my trash can. And when I went in, it was shoved in fucking upside down and shit. I didn't know what the fuck it was. It turned out to be this fucking guy.
Heyo.
He was shoved in the fucking thing, and he was all pissed off about it. And
a true classic.
Hell yeah. I want one, dude.
Get the hell out of here.
Always come back.
That's fucking awesome.
Hey, was that like $85? I came close.
You are going to love, honor, and obey.
Fuck yeah.
You got your wish. You're mine now,
Elvira
doll.
Elm Street variant.
We win.
What's that?
I came close to
Yeah.
buying
So,
that
For
guy.
the
I
Elvira.
took him out of the trash can and he came home, scared the living fuck out of my mom with it.
Yeah.
First day I had it, so it's
That's
already it's already worth the money I paid. So
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Scarpred,
Shit is dope.
you trying to shame my background right now, man. It's like, oh, you think that's a lot of cool
Okay.
Chucky shit? Fuck you, man.
It's got Chucky for real.
Did y'all see that trailer?
That was
By the
awesome.
way, that looks
I-
great,
I
doesn't it?
did not.
Yeah, season
Trailer
2.
for season
Yeah.
2. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I'm so pumped, man.
Me too, dude. So I got Platoon 4K,
Nice.
Slip.
and I got my Alice, Sweet Alice, courtesy of Two Gun Pedro. Thank you once again, my brother. I also got Scream Factory's the 4K fog, the fog, which I had to get.
Nice.
Reversible
Yeah, I like that
poster art.
cover.
I'm not. I guess maybe that's some teaser or some European art. I don't know,
Like
but
movie poster type shit.
It's not
That
bad.
movie gets better every time I see
I'm
it.
glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
that it
Oh,
at least
yeah.
got a. They're finally doing some reversible artwork on these 4Ks because that was the biggest bummer. No reversible art on this though,
Yeah.
Same thing.
or
inside.
Dog Soldiers that I got last week. But Funhouse has a reversible art. I might pick that up. I'm debating. I do love that film. But this one I
Yeah.
had to get on 4K. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. John Carpenter's The Fog is one of my absolute favorites. I watch it every Halloween season, without a doubt.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. One of my favorites.
beautiful
Like
movie.
Halloween 1 and 2 and this were like just I watched them so much growing up because my mom loved
Oh,
this
yeah.
one as well. So it was just so accessible for me.
Would you guys say that Tom Welling 2005 remake is one of the worst remakes of all
Yeah,
time?
it's
Yeah.
not very good.
Like, you know, I love Tom Welling. I love
Me
Tom.
too. Yeah.
Hey, Bloodbath and Beyond, what's up, man?
Hey,
How's it
yo.
going, y'all?
Hey,
Chucky Sled or the baby. Chucky, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Vern.
Damn.
Sorry, she's so cute in that.
You know what those
pumpkin
Chucky
getup,
dolls are
though.
worth when they're really possessed?
shit.
Last thing I got, man, I saw this and I had to get it, dude.
Nice.
The black
The-
and white.
Comes to life.
And Robbie, all the crap you gave me about how it looks the same, I don't care, man. This black and white one looks.
Yeah, I like the black and white
It
one
looks
better.
better to me, man.
Yeah.
I looked at them both.
That's
It
I
looks
saw
great.
them
I'm just gonna
side by
tell you,
side.
man. Like, what's the? It's not much of a difference. Like, that's
For
all.
me, there is.
He's
For me,
monochrome.
there is. And
He's
on a clip,
monochrome,
maybe
man.
it doesn't look like a difference on the computer, right? Like here.
No,
but
you're
when
right,
you
man.
got
The
'em face
ring,
to
the
face-
ring is black and white, not gold. I get it, man.
But hey, man, no, man. They're the color of the money.
It's
is
a
totally
brighter
different.
figure. It's brighter. That's
But,
one thing I noticed. It's
That's just
brighter.
me. If I could get both sets, I would get it. But because I can only get one, and I can barely get the one set. I gotta get black and white because
Yeah.
that's how they're meant, man. That's how they're
I get it.
shown.
I feel the same way. I can only get one, so I chose
The
colors so they
bummer
would go
is
along
that
with mine.
they're doing the colors perfectly because they know everybody would just buy the black and white if they did the black and white first. So that's why they're doing the colors first.
Yeah.
I'm bummed though because they're doing the freaking colored. The colored ones are getting like the original artwork poster that I fucking love, but they have been doing some really awesome artwork for the black and white
Yeah,
one.
the,
So I'm
the
not
black and
hating.
white artwork I think is actually I like better, man. It's like
Do you?
it's
You
weird.
know
I
what,
want
man?
both of them, man, but they're both
You
awesome.
see, I got the Frankenstein behind me, and the wolf. Dude, I was nervous on what they were gonna do for this one because I love that mummy poster. But dude, this one's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say
This
that's
one's
nice.
awesome, dude. I'm so happy to have this. I cannot wait for the Invisible Man to come out, and they announced the Bela Lugosi Dracula, so that's gonna be incredible.
I can't wait for Imhotep's sarcophagus to come out. That's gonna be dope as shit.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, that is what I got for show and tell this week. Not too much. I think a couple things coming in a couple days. Maybe. They did announce Night Gallery Season 3 from Kino finally.
Yeah.
So we'll get that full collection for that, which will be awesome. But if you guys didn't know, since we only do the Saturday show, you're welcome to go check out our rewinds. Definitely go check out Bloodbath and Beyond. They do awesome content, and they are just funny as hell, man. I know
they're
Robbie. I know Robbie's a big fan of them as well. They are one of my favorite channels.
They need to do Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah,
That's what I want. I want y'all to do it because I was on YouTube today and I was like, nobody but Drum Dums has done this, really. So y'all need to do it. Yeah,
man, it'd be cool to get them on one time, man. So next week
we'd have to kick off Scarpad then.
What do we got?
I feel bad, right?
What do we got coming? Nah, man. Scarpad's on me.
I'm just joking.
So glad overall you all enjoyed it. Yeah, man, we love the movie. So next week, what do we got coming up this Monday on Robbie's channel? The Changeling. That's gonna be a fun one, dude.
Very excited, man. 1980. George C. Scott.
Check out the Joe Bob Briggs special on that.
Great. You're gonna be there, right, Dylan?
Yeah, I plan to be. Yes.
Oh, Joe Bob did one on this?
Yeah, he did. On like season 1, I want to say.
This movie's so good, man. I love it. I haven't seen it in like 20 years, so this was dope.
Hell yeah. And then next week, next Saturday, we will be reviewing Jordan Peele's piece of shit of a film.
It's gonna be interesting.
One film I'm
shut your whore. But Jordan Peele will give communion to you, you whore. Come on,
you whore.
Dylan by next week is gonna reverse. Dylan's gonna say this is a masterpiece next week. I predict.
Never.
Dylan's gonna come out and say,
I even watched.
I fucking love
behind the scenes.
My rating of us, I'm gonna have to say
There's no commentary on it. He didn't do a fucking commentary on
There's
it.
the commentary on us. There's not a commentary on Get Out, right? Or like, I got that backwards.
There is
I
a
got
Get
that
Out.
backwards.
There's
I got that backwards.
one on us.
Great
but we're
commentary.
doing the following Monday from
That's
us.
the
We're
one
doing
that
Get
needed-
Out on PCP.
That's the one that needed it was us because that I was trying to dig into. I wanted to know what he was fucking thinking.
You don't worry. I'll tell you next week, Dylan. I'll tell you next week.
Maybe he just wants you.
Dude,
to
I watched some behind the scenes, man, and it actually pissed me off more. So should have.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about us next week.
From what Vern said, hey Vern, you know what my
Tune
pick
in,
was
everybody.
for us?
It's gonna be fun.
Guess what it was?
What
You
your
were
what
just
was?
talking
Sorry.
about it. You were just talking about it. I'm
Boys.
Tales
You
from
didn't
the
like-
Hood.
Oh, Tales from the Hood. Shit's
Yeah.
the shit, son.
I tell you what,
David
people
Allen
really
Greer.
like people really like our episodes where me and Dylan are on the opposite sides of a movie. That might happen.
That was the whole point of this one.
I think it'll be a great.
And I'm going to be in
I
Memphis,
can't wait for Get
so
Out.
y'all going to have to bear with me, man. I'm going to be in a hotel room. So
that's awesome. It's
yeah.
I
exciting.
know, man. You're gonna we're gonna have to bear with you. You're gonna have to bear with me.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
the
your
bear with me, man.
doppelganger.
Yeah.
Not even the real Robbie.
Dude, I know, man, because
Well, we don't even get to check in till we leave the con, and it's going to be a whole kerfuffle.
If you don't want to be there, we could just switch it to Tales.
Nah,
from
bro.
the
Like
Hood.
I looked and I was like, oh shit, Us, the movie that I told Dylan, like you have to do Us, and like I'm like, fuck, that's the Memphis weekend, shit. But we'll work.
And we already had everything set and scheduled already.
Yeah, we'll like I said, we're gonna leave the con a little bit early. We're gonna go check into our hotel, and I'm gonna get set up, and I'm ready to do DHS, man.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm ready to defend the fuck out of Us as the best Jordan Peele fucking movie. I'm telling y'all,
No,
the
Get Out.
greatest
Never seen
psychological
No, Get
thriller
Out.
of the 2010s.
I've never seen it.
Well, that's
It'll be my first time.
It's kind
so-
of a
First time?
low bar.
First
Oh,
time.
awesome.
It'll be interesting.
It's
That
not.
is
It's not that bad, but you know, it
It's
was.
fucking in a lot of ways. It's super good, but there's issues.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, man, this movie's fucking brilliant, man. This movie's brilliant, man.
This
I
is
don't
gonna
give a
be
shit.
where if somebody has disagreed with Robbie, so he's gonna go to the extreme. He's gonna give it a 6. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I already
this
give it.
is
I've already
just
given.
three all over again.
Me and Brooks, we've already reviewed this movie. I gave it a 5 the first time I
And
watched
he
it.
wonders.
Man.
He wonders why the slip is where it's at. He just wonders.
Oh, what the fuck ever. I'm gonna tell y'all next week why Us is
See, look,
a brilliant
guys.
film.
Guys, these three up here, these three are the ones that are making the slip sink, and these three down here, these three are the ones.
Oh, fuck you, David. Fuck you, man.
That's why we're on the ground floor right
Oh,
here.
whatever, man. Whatever. It's Horror Fest. First of all, we're always skewed up a half of your day. Okay, let's be honest. We all get so excited in September and October, like horror time.
Dude, you know what? I keep saying, like, man, I wouldn't watch that Friday the 13th review you guys did. You guys were all smoking crack with those reviews. After spending a year, no, hold on. I've always said that. After spending a year with you guys watching more of these 80s, all these old horror movies, now I'm revisiting that franchise for like the 50th time. And I got to say, these movies are way better than I was giving credit for. So I think my scores would be a hell of a lot higher now because relative to what was going on at the time.
VHS effect, man.
Fucking great. No, for real.
I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to come next week. I'm going to be prepared, even though I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be prepared to state my case for the significance of the movie Us. I fucking love it. And I want to invite all of y'all to this sometime this week, get really high and watch Us. And maybe you'll pick up on something. I don't know.
I can do that.
And a few more times next week.
Yeah. Probably watch it twice. I'll watch it twice, I promise.
I'm telling y'all, man.
I'm lucky. I'm going into this. I have not seen Us or Get Out. Man. I haven't seen either of them.
Me neither.
Wow.
So maybe my Us will be skewed because I haven't seen Get Out. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the. I think it's going to be one of the most dynamic conversations we have throughout the entirety of Horror Fest 2022.
Hell yeah.
I agree.
If the six of us could find a way not to talk over each other the whole time, it's going to be fucking great.
The people love it, though. They love it. And then we have this. This is the greatest too.
Dylan, I feel like Dylan, you've been like bagging and boarding comics this whole show, or something is going down underneath the screen.
Well, this is gonna be like the fourth fucking movie. I hope it's got Bush in it because there's no Bush in the last two.
Yeah, the Bush quote.
No, we're gonna break that to you already. There's no Bush.
We gotta get some proper horror too, because a lot of these, the last two were American Mary. This was kind of suspense, thriller, who did it kind of thing.
Kind of thrillerish.
Yeah. We need to get some real horror.
Well,
we got the next good stuff coming, man.
The next 3 weeks in a row is surprisingly a lot of modern movies that I fucking love. So
there we go.
Yeah, we got The Witch, we got It chapters 1 and 2 coming up. Stuff that I'm a lot more familiar with than what we normally have been doing.
And over on PCP Movie Night, we got Audition. You're right, coming up. We got some good stuff, man.
Hell yeah.
We got Get Out. Audition. What else we got? Fuck, I don't remember. Lots of good stuff.
Better every year, so it's
it does.
I'm already prepping for Halloween night, Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
We got the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise together.
That's gonna be a good one. Yeah,
and we got Pumpkinhead, and we got
Videodrome.
We got Videodrome. Like we got
Videodrome.
We're just shit ain't even started yet, y'all. We're starting off light, man.
Right.
We're starting off light with Argento and American Mary and Alice Sweet Alice.
It's mid-September. Things are just heating up.
Yeah, man.
Station evil face. Oh yeah.
You're still back and board comics. Hey, did you get that commandy I sent you, man? You got the commandy? What?
The Last Boy on Earth.
Yeah, did you get the last boy I sent you today?
I thought he was going to tell you to command these nuts.
Is your sound out?
I think you're muted somehow. Muted on your mic or your computer. Not on StreamYard.
Dylan?
I think Dylan's lost his voice. Yeah, not hearing anything, bro.
I feel like he's talking he's on the phone.
Oh,
he is. Okay. Okay, there we go.
That makes a lot of sense now.
We're all sitting here talking to someone who's not paying attention to it, so it's okay.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, no, you're fine, man. You're fine.
You guys are just bullshitting anyways. I don't know why. All I'm gonna do is tell you how much I fucking hate Us, man, and then tell you.
Are you gonna at least rewatch it with an open mind, bro?
Dude, I try to watch them behind the scenes. Of course, I'm gonna watch it with an open mind, dude. I look like
it doesn't sound
you?
like it, Dylan.
I look like you in your 20s.
Shots fired.
Jesus Christ.
You guys all know me. You
guys better be fucking ready. I'm coming up like goddamn Skip Bayless next week, goddamn it. You better be ready. I'm wearing my high top.
Said thanks killing over Us.
That's fine.
You've seen Thanks killing. It's a fucking turkey going around killing people.
I thought they were rather
talk-
harsh on American
talking
Mary, to be
turkey.
honest with you,
Oh,
but
shit.
it's
I like to see that
okay.
one.
Yeah.
I
It's a
thought
talking turkey, bro. Dude, I
Sounds
can't
like
wait to
poltergeist.
I can't wait to watch this, bro, because my vibe is gonna be like this the entire time. You think it's gonna change, but I've watched it a few times.
You just wait,
and I've
brother.
done it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Like, why you?
This is a
You're getting
preview.
me goddamn
I've done
heated
it
already.
open-minded.
I'm fucking ready.
Dylan has snapped.
It's gonna be fun.
It's like we're getting ready for a high school fucking debate or something. What
Is
the
that
fuck is
how
going
much-
on here?
This is almost like the old Dylan when he used to fucking get this way with Donnie Cates.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that
And the-
now,
and the
Dylan?
Dylan rant.
Yeah, have you read the fucking?
He's-
Have you
dude,
read the
he's
Hulk,
not as
Dylan?
good as
Have
he
you
used
read
to
the
be.
fucking Hulk?
He's not as good as what he was, and he's
The
reusing.
fucking Hulk is a
Who's that?
goddamn.
He's like now he's got some
This
new
guy is
indie book
tripping
coming
some
out.
fucking mad balls, man. Now he's got the fucking
Because
Hulk
no,
turned into a goddamn
Donnie.
fucking space trip.
Yeah.
Shit. Carrying Bruce
that's
Banner's
because he was
fucking
handed the
puny
keys
body around.
too early. Like
What
he
kind-
didn't really have to earn it.
What
Like
kind of
most
fucking
writers.
LSD motherfucking shit is that guy smoking?
Well, apparently
man?
we need to do a Hulk show, so write that in.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
All right, Dylan, it's back to you, man.
This is great.
Back to you in the studio.
Great.
Back to you.
My favorite part of this show is the us dialogue already starting. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Dylan's already so fucking mad about next week.
Yeah, so this upcoming Monday on Pop Culture Philosophers, definitely be there to check out us review The Changeling. That's going to be a fun one. And then next Saturday, we will be reviewing Jordan Peele's shit can of a movie, Us. And then the following Monday, we will be reviewing the way better movie, Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. And then as the
I'm
name
saving it for
changes,
next
says
week.
smoke weed every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
We all try.
Dude, why nobody watching Brain Scan? That movie was fire. Brain Scan.
Natalie Wood.
There's
Christopher
another
Walken.
movie. There's another movie that keeps getting mentioned every time I could look anything up about Alice, Sweet Alice. That was
Brain-
Madhouse from the 70s. I've
Brain
never seen that
Scan.
one, but I've
What's
heard that.
Brain Scan again? Which
Wait,
one
Brain
is that?
Scan, is that? No,
Natalie
I don't know
Wood.
what that is.
Christopher Walken.
Right, the one I was just thinking is Brain Dead.
I'm thinking Brain Dead. That's Dead Alive, right?
Is Brain Scan.
That's Natalie Wood, Christopher Walken, and
Is that one word? 2 words? What are we doing?
1980.
Scarphead apparently no.
Oh, what, Eddie Furlong?
Scarface?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Right,
Sorry.
Brian
I knew I
Scan.
saw that.
Maybe there's another one.
I've been meaning to pick up that Scream Factory of that. As soon as he said,
Oh, yeah.
Brain,
Is
I
it good?
was-
Is it a
I
good
was-
movie? Is it a new movie?
It's-
Like what?
It's good.
I've never heard of it.
I wish it was dark.
Dude, you know this dude?
I like Eddie Furlow. And I mean, I like it because Eddie Furlow.
That Carrot Top?
I was like, what is that? Somebody from Depeche Mode? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Here,
That's a,
That
blow me up
Mystique?
real quick, would you, Dylan?
that's that.
I remember seeing this movie.
Oh
back
yeah,
in
that's
the 90s.
Chucky from Child's Play.
No, it's not.
No,
It
I've
says-
never seen this.
It says Brain
It's the
Scan,
villain in
1994.
Brain Scan, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good little.
I remember
Looks
it.
like the Leprechaun's
Yeah,
older
and it has,
brother or
like,
something.
It's like Eddie Furlong is like a big fucking nerd for
He's
the
got
game.
like he's got like a red mullet.
He's like a huge nerd for the game and for
I'll check it. I'm gonna
computer
write that
games,
down. I
and
want
he
to check
gets,
it. I'll
like,
check
sent
it.
this like game and it fucking
Oh, dude, this movie's the shit. I loved this movie
it's
when I
good.
was
It
a
is
kid.
good.
Yeah,
I've
fuck
never
yeah.
seen it. I'll check it
definitely,
out.
dude. That will definitely be making the
Brain
horror show.
Hell
There you
yeah.
go. That's how you do it.
Because I've been meaning to pick up that Blu-ray. I love anything with Eddie Furlong. I'm gonna.
Another movie that I kept hearing about while researching this movie, Alice, Sweet Alice, was Madhouse, which is from the set that people say is one of the best like proto slashers, like along with Black Christmas and this one, and maybe some giallo, like the 70s films that led to Halloween to the slasher. So I don't know. Madhouse, I hear good things about, so I have to check that out.
I'll
Yeah.
look
Like a video game and little monsters. Nice. Okay.
That's funny.
You can fuck with it.
I love Little Monsters, man.
Come on, baby.
That's what
Sneaking into people's
Yeah, I'll do
houses
that
and
one.
pissing in their apple juice. Come on. That's
Yeah,
good, clean fun.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
bruh.
Come on.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Shit's the shit.
The wizard.
This shit's the piss.
Now is Dylan on the phone again, or is he sleeping?
I'm just listening.
He's
to
just
you
waiting
guys
for us to
talk,
shut the
bro.
fuck up so we can end the show. That's what's going on.
There you go.
We love y'all, man. You guys are the best as always, man. We will catch you guys next week. Thank you everyone for joining. Dude, great to have you here in the chat, Bloodbath and beyond, or at least like a Howie, at least no Underworld.
Joram was all in there, man.
Jordan seemed
Video
drunk as
games
fuck
need
in the
to
chat. I don't know what Jordan's talking about all night. Lost his mind.
Make sure you're there Monday night on Pop Culture Philophers First to continue Horror Fest with the Changeling, and then catch us next Saturday for Jordan Peele's Us. We love y'all. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Catch y'all next week. Peace out.